Welcome, everybody, to the CrossFire podcast. It's Friday night. We're a little bit late, but that's just my crowd's used to it by now. So this is what we do on Friday, fellas. Everybody, I hope everyone's got a drink in their hand. I hope everybody's relaxed. Everyone's got their Xbox on, their PC, whatever they're listening to us on, their phone, because tonight is going to be an emotional ride, people. We've got a great cast. I've got the full crew here. I've got a special guest. And I know a lot of you have seen his work, but we'll get into that in a second. Let me start with the one, the only. He only drinks 2-liter sodas at a rep.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? You know what's funny? Like, I know nobody has heard this story yet because we did it on a Patreon podcast that like only they got to hear so far.
That's right.
But what happens is I have like a 2-liter of like Diet Pepsi or Diet Mountain Dew or whatever, right? And I'm sitting there, I'll drink it. And then one day, like during this last Patreon, when Mooch is like, yeah, you know, now put the cap back on. And I didn't know anybody could hear me drinking this. They're like, dude, we hear you chug that thing and then put the cap back on every time.
Every single time. It's like you hear the whiplash too from the liquid hitting the back of the container, and then
you got that deep throat. That's why.
Oh man, yeah.
You know what? It takes a lot, like especially M&Z mornings to do like a 2-hour morning show like that. It's like even any podcast for 2 hours, like you need a little bit of caffeine to go.
Fact.
And so that's what it takes. But yeah, you know, I've been wanting to do this podcast all day. It's good when there's stuff that happens during the day.
Oh my god!
I
hit the podcast lottery today. I'm sitting there and news is hitting me while I'm just sitting there at work, and it's just hitting me left and right.
That's the best kind, man. Like the Dead Rising 4 stuff that happened, and there's the, you know, and then of course Digital Foundry comes out with Destiny 2 requirements to get to 60 frames per second. And that's something that we could talk about too, because damn, that like Richard Ledbetter's like, yeah, well, this junk $65 CPU can run at 60 frames. So then you start thinking to yourself, okay, so if that junky ass CPU can do it, why can't the Xboxes? Apparently he's going to test the Jaguars like specifically later on to see if they actually work. If those
I bet you that test comes after September 6th.
Probably, but if they work, then I would say that you know, there's some explaining to do. You know what I mean?
Yes, there is.
You got a bunch of PS employees sitting there with that chopping the head symbol, like, shut the fuck up.
These intros take an hour and a half. Let me go to my next guy. Southbound and down, who got stuck. He's in LA. He gets stuck in DMV and traffic, but he made it here on time. The man is dedicated. He loves Crossfire. What's up, Sal?
What's going on, fellas? It's nice to be back. You know, it's been a few weeks, but I'm back in effect, so it's nice to be back.
Listen, I don't like it when you miss a week or two, but let me tell you something, South. When you do miss a week or two and come back, you come back with furious anger. So it's a great show. I know we're in for something big.
Right, I'm on my steroids. I'm back. I'm pumped. I was gonna say, I will not do it.
Yo, Southie, man, for coming from DMV, you don't sound too angry though. That's a little odd.
Bro, I'm fucking happy to get out of that fucking hell. Hey, sitting there waiting at the DMV is like waiting to ascend into hell. You know what I mean? It's
from New York to LA, same shit. Because Southie goes, is it like that over there, Mooch? I'm like, it's worse. Dude, I fucking hate the DMV. Everybody hates the DMV. It's the worst place to go, especially on a Friday.
Literally, I would pay double my registration fees if I could avoid that place altogether.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Southie. Let me attack the man who's next here. My Italian Goomba is down in Florida. He didn't find a calzone yet, but I'm sure he found a $5 box of tacos. What's going on, clowns?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Yeah, Mexican pizza.
I'm getting that taco box from Taco Bell that everybody's talking about. I'm gonna try it out, and I saw Boom's calzones, man. I
know. Nice work on that. We're going to get to Boom in a second. Apparently,
speaking of that Taco Bell shit, man, how much is their stock went up in the last couple days?
Dude, everybody
got a spot with like a fucking dozen of them.
Did you see that? I actually bought 10,000 shares of Taco Bell just before Xbot walked in. I just split dividends.
I'm not a big Taco Bell like I don't eat a lot of fast food, but I did buy a $5 box. And to see if I could win.
Hey, it's $5. Well, I mean, come on,
like that's like a lottery. That's a lottery ticket right there. Hey, for $5, I might save me 500.
That's a win for life right there.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, the 12-box king himself, Xbot 448, buddy. How are you tonight? Welcome to the show.
What's going on, people? It's the Xbot 448. Yo, guys, I am definitely full. We had five. I call them Xboxes. I think that's a good thing to call them.
It is.
Yeah, we bought 5 of them, and that's the good thing about having multiple children, man. You get more chances to win an Xbox One X.
Hey, so in other words, I gotta have a shitload of kids just so an excuse to buy more fucking Xboxes.
Hey,
dude,
Mooch,
Dark Optimus
Mooch,
says I have 17 children, so
yeah, Mooch has 73 likes and only 1 dislike. What's that like, man? I want to be living that world.
It feels wonderful.
It is. I mean, I'm sure it'll go up some, but
It'll
I'm just
change.
there,
Trust me.
impressed by that number.
Yeah, just hold, please. That will change momentarily. And
he's not watching the thumbs now, man. Look
yeah,
at
exactly. Don't pay attention to the thumbs. Just hit the up, folks. And the man who's not going to want to be known for his calzones, but rather his opinions on gaming, Boom Bostic. What's up, Boom? How you doing tonight?
I missed last Friday terribly, but you know what? I think we're all pent up, and there's been a lot of news, so we have a lot to talk about.
No, it really is, Boom. Good to have you back, bro. You've been very active online, so we're going to definitely get to your opinions very shortly. But let me introduce our special guest. Always like to bring somebody on from another podcast, another show, another YouTube channel, just so you get a different perspective. It's a little bit different outside the Crossfire realm. This is our buddy Avers from G4G Media. He shares the show with Moxie. Avers, welcome to the show, buddy. We're really looking forward to your 2 cents tonight.
Thank you so much for having me on. It is an honor to be on with this amazing panel tonight. I am pumped and ready to go.
Absolutely, everything. You know, the one thing that I saw about you when I was watching the show, the main reason I asked you to come on tonight is I've noticed you don't hold back. You throw punches, you speak from the heart, and that's what I like. So by all means tonight, let everyone know how you feel on these subjects. But without any further ado, let's talk about this. I wake up this morning, you know, there's nothing like waking up in the morning. You know, the media bias is in the air, right? You can smell it. It's just around.
Fraud alert.
Yep. And exactly. I look down, and there's Terrible Tom this morning. And, you know, Terrible Tom's already starting to attack Forza. And I'm going to let Crap get into it because Crap's got everything bullet pointed already. But he is attacking the Forza game, saying he didn't notice any difference. Then he goes ahead and tries to prove his innocence. And when he goes to do that, he's got a picture of his gamer tag next to Major Nelson's. Major Nelson has a comma, okay? Yeah. He's got a comma of 100,000 plus. And then you look over and you see this guy with 9,000. Now, I do want to state this real quick because we're going to get into Terrible Tom in a second. But I like to let people know that I don't care if you have 1 gamer score. I don't care if you have 0 gamer score. That's not how I judge you as a gamer. I don't care if you have 0 trophies and 0 gamer score. That doesn't matter. But if you're going to start flaunting your years of service and your multiple Xboxes and you can't get enough of this system, so don't come at me, and you've only got 9,000, then we've got to start to put you under the microscope. And that's my whole thing. I love multiplayer games too. That's what I play predominantly. I really do. And I'm just shy of 40,000 gamer score, right? I don't have 150,000 gamer scores in that. I've played my due diligence of games. Heck, I'm on my 3rd time playing each BioShock game. You don't get any more freaking achievements for that. But guess what? Doesn't mean I don't like to play the game that I adore. I think Ken Levine is an absolute genius. My point being is
fun.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Boom. Thank you for that. But my point is this guy comes out and says this about that, and we have to put this man under the microscope. So with no further ado, Crap, you were talking about this just in the pre-show. What is it that he said about Forza that absolutely put egg on his face?
Well, what he did, well, first of all, you have to look back to some of the things he said recently. And I'll touch on the Forza thing in a second.
Yeah.
But before the reveal of the Xbox One X price, he said if it was priced $499, it was clear Microsoft wanted out of the gaming market. So that was the first bit of egg on his face. Then he built a PC and was like, I'm back, PC Master Race, right? So now he's like back on the PC front. So obviously he isn't going to be a big Xbox fan. Then today he's like, so I played Forza on the Xbox One X and it doesn't look any different. And you know, it's 30 frames per second. Gamers want 60 frames, not 30 frames. And so, you know, at that point myself and other people chimed in that it was in fact 60 frames. And and you know what I mean? I don't know if he responded to anybody on that point, but it just shows you like The Verge, right? The Verge is the same place that said that Gears 4 looks soft, quote unquote, in 4K on the X, right? So we know that in fact that's not true. They don't know what that means. Like that's more of a Digital Foundry term, and they said it was like the best looking game on the X, you know. So yeah, like those aren't really tech people, you know. So The Verge are more like it's really hard putting what they are. They're basically a mainstream outlet that's fighting to stay relevant in a time where you can get better news from other places. So they're trying to stay kind of relevant by doing
it's controversy, bro. Controversy sells. You know that.
And clickbait, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not even that, but this guy, like you would figure he would know that Forza is 60 frames. The motorsport's always been 60 frames.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, he's in this tech world, and the first thing that people do, you're a fanboy. Stop fanboying out. And we're not fanboying out, Tom. You're idioting out. Look what he wrote. He wrote here,
terrible,
honestly.
Tom.
He goes,
that's why I unfollowed his ass.
Well, he goes, I just played Forza. Here's his tweet, actually. I just played Forza on the Xbox One X in 4K. Honestly, couldn't really tell the difference. Not the best game to show off its power. Are you kidding me? That's always been that's the go-to showcase game. And people even that are PlayStation fans will go, well, don't show me Forza because we know that looks good. So let's move to something else. They're even waiving the fact that Forza always looks stunning. So why would he say something like that? It proves the fact that his other tweets are actually lies when he says, I play so much. You don't play that much at all because whether you like Forza, I don't even play a lot of Forza. I know that you never would say Forza doesn't look good.
Yeah, Forza always looks good. Yeah.
When it comes to his time playing, and he posted his picture. He's been on for 14 years. His gamer score is under 10,000. I showed O Snaps that. Now, O Snaps is a huge multiplayer person, right? She doesn't really like the single player. She goes in, she'll play the Call of Duty zombies and stuff, all multiplayer. And she's been on the Xbox for at least half the time and has like triple the score he has. So I was like, dude, I hashtag think before you troll. Because this dude is obviously not a professional troller, but he did dip his toes in it a little bit, kind of check the temperature. It was horrible, man.
Yeah, I mean, where does it end here, guys? I mean, listen,
terrible Tom.
Hashtag terrible Tom.
Yeah.
Did you see? The thing about it is, where does it end? And you know what, Avers? I'm actually going to tap your shoulder here for a second because here's the problem. You guys did a great piece on your show. I think it was a week ago, and you really kind of went in on IGN. And here's the reason that I really thought it was a chance to stand up and clap for you guys. I haven't seen anyone besides myself, Crap, Next Gen, and a couple of people on this panel that actually will come out and start to say this. You guys really dug deep and went in on IGN. What is it that you guys found when you and Moxie were doing your real, true, actual journalism and looking into it? There's something wrong with these guys, right? Because there's something I've always said. The entire media, the entire gaming media, from the top the tippy top of Seattle all the way down to the bottom of California. You've got all of these people. They all love. I left you alone. I left you alone there, Southie. You're in LA. LA's exempt. Southbound and Mr. 100 are exempt. But other than you two,
don't forget we got all day in San Diego too.
Oh, all day's in San Diego. That's why he's always so happy. Shit never rains over there. Listen.
He's right next to Mexico, all the illegal drugs and shit.
So true. So,
tequila.
There's got to be something wrong here. There's no subject on earth that you could find all these people that love Sony. What did you guys find, Avers?
Well, yeah, we researched. It was Ryan McCaffrey is what you're talking about right now. We went through his tweets over the last month prior to that video, and there were tons. For the ones that weren't deleted, he actually deleted a lot of the really bad ones. But for the ones that weren't, there were tons of times where he was condescending, and there was very little positive information coming out about Microsoft. That's this guy's role. You guys have said it a million times. He's supposed to be the Xbox guy at IGN, and he's very clearly not. He's very clearly anti-Xbox. From what we saw, from what his Twitter just looks like, everybody should do an exercise and go through and read some of his tweets, and it's a bunch of nonsense. And you guys have been hitting it on the head. Same thing with this terrible Tom. I really think they're kind of doing it for the attention at this point. I think they want people to come to their Twitter and click on their videos and their articles and give the type of comments that you see under them.
I think you really nailed it, and that's the problem here. Tom, I don't know if Tom wanted to get a spike in his Twitter followers, maybe some hits more of his articles on The Verge. The problem is now you can see that these guys are doing this just for attention. They are actually arguing and fighting with Xbox fans, and they're starting it. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, they're actually starting it. And then the minute 2 or 3 people go up to combating them, what do? They pull out there it is, hashtag fanboy. Here comes the fanboys. Well, no, wait a minute. You made it. Why can't we ask why? That's the problem I have. When you ask somebody why and they stumble on their words and they go right to fanboy, you know you got them. You know you got them.
Well, Mooch, here's the thing. The problem is that it's a clear double standard in the industry. If you're a PlayStation guy You're allowed to do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. No one says anything. But if you're an Xbox guy and you question something or you make a comment, it's right to the fanboy. You're an extremist. You're just mad because you're losing. You can't have a valid opinion, and that's pathetic.
What's wrong, Crap? I'm hearing a lot.
I was just thinking because Jamie Moran made this tweet. Maybe you guys heard about this too. The whole other platform nonsense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that is so funny. I'd even considered doing a review and then just calling it other platform. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be like
that was actually on the paperwork for the Call of Duty beta. It says PlayStation 4 and other platform.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't know, like Xfinity was doing a thing where they were giving people beta codes.
That's where we got
like,
our codes.
Yeah, it's like, hey, so here's your congratulations. Here's your Call of Duty World War II beta code on PS4 or other platform. Yeah. Yeah, like to me, that's unbelievable. Right. And a lot of people are like, but crap, this is what people throw at me and what you got to deal with. Right. But crap, Microsoft was doing these kind of marketing deals back in the day. Microsoft never prevented a PlayStation logo from being on a call. They never prevented somebody from calling it a PlayStation. For Christ's sakes, when Microsoft had marketing rights and map packs for Call of Duty Ghosts, fucking everybody was playing it on the PS4 anyway.
Right.
Right. Imagine something like that happening now. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like this.
That's
nonsense.
part of this whole media thing that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I think I'm glad Crap brought up that other instance. And I'm glad Boom brought that up. My thing is this: if these things were to have occurred before, it's Microsoft, anti-consumer, blah 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 blah. Sony, there's no headline, there's no clickbait. There's not even clickbait. I'd even fall for some clickbait. You know, I remember they were trying to attack Sony, and then you get in there and they attack Microsoft anyway. I'm like, damn it, I fell for it. But no, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's not even clickbait to get me to go in there. There's nothing to be said. And I mean, we've got another guy. We're sitting here talking about hashtag terrible Tom, but we're forgetting about Michael Pachter, who came out and blatantly attacked Windows Central. And when Windows Central rebutted and said, could you please
oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
There was no response back from Pachter. You know,
hey, let me say this as much as well.
He apologized though, and kind of walk back on.
Did he?
His apology was an afterthought. That's for sure.
Here's the funny part, though, right? It wasn't just him. Terrible Tom previously had said, this is exactly what Terrible Tom said, or paraphrase. He said, Microsoft's announcement means nothing because they've shared no numbers, so it's meaningless, right? Like, basically, that was what he ran with, and everybody ran with this, right? It's meaningless. It's nothing. It's that. It's this. You know what I mean? And so Terrible Tom is part of that, too. There's a lot of places that are part of this, and unfortunately, you know, it's fake news. It's, you know,
it is fake news. You know,
Microsoft has to share this. Hey, no. Donald Trump this is CNN. CNN would be the fake news. They're the CNN as far as I'm concerned of any of this other stuff. But I'm just saying, like,
I used to listen to the Pack Factor. I used to like that. I thought he was really good when he took hardcore. What does Next Gen always say? Numbers never lie, right? And this is the thing.
Men lie, women lie.
Numbers never lie. And I love that line because, to be honest with you, he's right. And when Michael Pack used to come out and say numbers and ratios, and some of them were like, you know, some of them were like far-fetched
His name was dying, and just like he said with the other guys who needed attention, he was like, "Oh, damn, my brand is slowly sinking right here, man. I got to become controversial. I got to say things that people will remember." And ever since then, he's been absolutely irrelevant, man. Irrelevant.
Yeah, I don't understand.
The crazy thing about it is he's really good friends with everybody at Xbox and Sony. So you would think that he would kind of like want to keep it even keeled and you know, stay on that.
Why? Microsoft isn't going to care. Microsoft,
they don't care. They have the Kumbaya candles ready.
The floppy cock of the industry.
Yeah,
I watched. You know, it's so funny, right? I watched the movie The Founder last night, right? Brilliant movie. Michael Keaton was great in that movie. And what's funny is, if you guys don't know what that movie's about, it's about this guy who fucking basically duped the inventors of McDonald's, the McDonald brothers, and fucking usurped their entire empire. Yeah. Right. Yeah. He tells them. He's like,
but he did take him to another level, though. I mean, really, he made it into a global brand versus what they wanted to keep.
He did, but then he pushed them. He just pushed them out, and he tells them straight on the phone. He's like, you know what? He goes, it isn't all fucking hunky dory. Do this. He's like, if my enemy's drowning, I put a hose in their mouth. That's what, you know what I mean? It's harsh business, but that's what you do. You don't just, okay, folks, let's get our games on everything, because I get the feeling that if Phil or company had their way, they'd have even Halo and Gears on PlayStation. Like,
I doubt that.
No, they would have it on PC.
Hey, Sal, you doubt that, but why would you doubt that when they don't even care about the exclusives that they do have? Everything goes to whether it be Steam, Windows. Yep. You have Minecraft, which is probably the biggest
Steam, but I highly doubt them being on.
Why? They want crossplay. Whenever you see Phil and them talk,
games.
Yeah, whenever you see Phil and them talk, it's all about no boundaries, and they want no paywalls and no this and no that. They just want gamers to play regardless.
They just want goodwill to the gamers. That's what it is.
Well, you can have goodwill for gamers, but you can also fucking fight a little bit and want to do a good job and make your gamers feel like non-second class citizens. Because guess what I'm starting to feel like, and it's not a first class citizen on Xbox anymore. Yes, the X is great.
That's true.
Excited.
Crap, you make a good point. I mean, Southie, what he's really saying is that you can still be the man, you can still be the absolute balls in the business, but you can then be nice and still courteous and give things out. You can still be what Phil wants to be, is balance.
Exactly.
Right? There's just no balance right now. The teeter-totter is just completely lopsided on one side. And I think that you wouldn't see Terrible Tom and Pac. The reason you answered, actually, I'm really glad you said that. The reason Pactor does say that is he's never going to get his hand slapped. Never. He's already got a first-class seat sitting next to Phil at next year's Gaming Awards.
Exactly.
He's already there.
Just like, what was his name? The guy that fucking leaked the price of the One X.
Jeff
Keighley.
Jeff
that's
Keighley,
another aspect that I don't follow or anything like that.
That's a shame, though. Like, see,
that guy's a dickhead.
You know what, though? I actually liked him as far as content. Years ago, I watched him. I used to listen to what he had to say. I still applaud him for putting together the Games Awards. I really do applaud him for that, because I think
it's funny you said that, because that's the only thing I give him credit, because nobody else has wanted to celebrate the games community.
And apparently, right?
And he's about the only one.
Southie, we talked about this last year. The award shows is as far as business goes, is a failure. And he still works his ass off for it.
The award show is a front, man. It's powered by his ego. So once he got that established and it became kind of popular, he's able to shift it and sway it wherever the fuck he wants to.
Was it an award show last time, or was it at like a love letter to Kojima? Nobody loves Kojima the way that fucking Jeff Keighley loves Kojima, right? I mean,
just to leave you guys on a little insight of that guy's fucking ego. I was actually kind of ear hustling. He was talking to somebody. I'm not going to mention any names, but he was sitting there talking about. You remember when Spike kind of dropped the whole, gaming awards?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they wanted it back, right? And he was sitting there talking about. He's like, "Yeah, well, I told them you're gonna have to give me, 15 million if you want it back on your channel, this and that." And like, I kind of in my mind, I was like, "This fucking guy, like the nerve of him."
Yeah, that's not
what a guy,
this
right?
Is a show where they have to actually put cardboard cutouts of people in the audience.
Hey, here's the thing, right? Microsoft is like buddy with these people that turn around and trash them. Like, the knife is still in the back, right? Like, remember, I don't know who it was who told me this, but apparently there was a thing going around, like the whole thing where the leaked price came from Larry Herb, and a lot of people weren't happy about that.
Yeah.
You know
what the problem is, crap, though, is that there's no one. You said it. Someone said it before. No one to slap the hand. You know what Microsoft needs to defend their brand? A guy like Steve Ballmer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've been
he's all up in the NBA.
No, I'm just saying that this would not be happening if there was someone that every time something negative came out, someone jumped in or Xbox Defense Force and was like, "Wait, hold on a sec, you're wrong," and embarrassed them publicly.
Well, you know what?
No, Bomber would have ripped off his sweater and gagged him.
You know what, though? I hate to say this, right?
What do you got, clowns?
But we kind of need like a Don Matrick right now, cutthroat of business.
Whoa,
don't get Southie going.
Man,
that's
Don
what we need.
Everybody prays Don Matrick.
Next Gen's ears just went up.
Here's the thing. The thing with Don Matrick, right, is that that guy ruined it. He ruined everything. He had a silver fucking platter. How do you ruin it? Well, you take the 360, which was like the fucking best thing going, and then you totally you ruin it. You take everything about it and fuck it up for the hardcore gamers. You don't realize who you took to the dance, and then you mess up Xbox. And then you got Phil, who I like some of the stuff he does, but then some of the stuff is just, you just question it.
Yeah.
Like
hey,
this,
you guys
this
ever
Dead
see that
Rising
movie,
stuff.
The Devil's Advocate?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Remember when Pacino at the end, he was like, he's an absentee landlord.
Yes.
That's exactly what fucking
Yeah, Matrick never showed up. He was only there for those simple little like for E3.
anything
you never
for
saw him.
a press, release. He was there for the day-to-day, run operations.
I just think though we need something that's cutthroat. That's
You do need. This is what you need. You need to get rid of quite a few people there, honestly. And look, I know people think that sounds mean or whatever, but we're the consumers. They should be listening to what we want. And then, like, you know what I saw today that just made me kind of shake my head and say this isn't good news was when I saw Jez report that they saw a 40% increase on Xbox Live through the PC. Right. That means, first of all, that means they're not paying for Xbox Live. They're just using it for free. And second of all, that means that they're probably not going to rethink Xbox Play Anywhere, which makes the Xbox platform as a whole less appealing to a lot of people.
It does. It does. I used to argue with Crap about that back in the day, but he after time comes, you can start to see the numbers. Crap's right. They're not making any money on that. People are moving over there. Gears of War 4's multiplayer was just absolutely abysmal. There's nothing going on online. They had to merge it with the consoles. That whole Play Anywhere thing, I understand there's a few of you that listen. You're like, no, get out of here, Mooch. I use it all the time. There's very, very few people that are using it.
Yeah. You know what? I remember, Mooch, you can go back, and I said this when it was first announced, that Sony did something similar with, like, the Vita and shit, right? Like, buy once and play it 2 times or 3 times, because if it was on a PS3 as well, you could do it. And I was like, nobody's even going to care about this. It's not a big deal. Microsoft tried to make it into a big deal, and it wasn't. And then I remember, like, Albert Pinello was like, yeah, well, our data shows us that this people, they play on their PC and their phones. And I was like, bro,
stop.
I'm a hardcore Xbox dude. I fucking never play on my phone or on the PC. I'm an Xbox dude.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. Like, they're fucking it up. Go back to what Seamus Blackley, what he was saying. Like, they tried to do this Windows shit to him, and he was like, you know what I mean? You can't make, like, Microsoft doesn't know what Microsoft wants. Like, the X, great idea, but next year's exclusives are going to be great if they do in fact come out with Halo and Forza Horizon 4 to end the year, to start off with Crackdown, Sea of Thieves, and of course State of Decay 2. That's a solid lineup, but that's a solid lineup by default.
Crap, we have to talk about
lineups being shitty.
I want to get back to what you said though about the Xbox leadership, and here's a little bit where the questions come, but here's where the questions come in. Okay, this all ties into Dead Rising 4, guys. Now answer me this: Phil says he doesn't like keeping content off of other boxes, right? But then he was responsible or had something to do with the Rise of the Tomb Raider. He did that. That
was his deal,
right? Dead Rising 4, that was his deal, right?
Yeah, that was his deal. Under his watch. So this is the funny thing, right? So Rise of the Tomb Raider came out. What was that? 2015. And he's like, yeah, that was a mistake, keeping content off other boxes. Then 2016, they does the same fucking thing.
Right.
And so now we're like, but crap, we knew about this, and they produced this thing where it's like, it's a timed exclusive, and then you read the article and it's like, yeah, it's timed, the fact that they admit that it's going to Steam after 90 days, but it never says confirmed to be going to the PS4. It says possibly. Right. So, but guess what? Phil also said we don't own Dead Rising 3 IP or Rise IP. That could go to PS4, and that shit never happened. So it was safe to assume, anyway, in my opinion, that since the third one was exclusive, that the fourth one probably.
Can we all agree that Microsoft is a more wealthy company than Sony? We all know that, right? That's
10 times the amount,
at least, and more than that, I believe. And here's my thing: where's Bloodborne on the Xbox?
Dude, this is exactly my point.
Do we even want it on the Xbox?
Yes, it's not the point, Southie. Why can't we? Because nobody wants Dead Rising 4 on PlayStation either.
Yeah, well, listen. This is the point that I'm trying to make, right? It ends up being a one-way street. This is why everybody questions the third-party deals that Microsoft makes. This is why they badge it and they go, how long before PS4? This is why it's a worthless tactic for them to use, because they all eventually do go to PS4 or PlayStation, whatever PlayStation is out at the time, right? While the Sony ones don't. Like, they're getting shit like Rise of the Tomb Raider and Dead Rising, We Happy Few, you know what I mean? They're getting the games that are, we're basically beta testing it. See, like, this is the part, I didn't give two shits about Dead Rising 4 going to PlayStation 4, but the trend of it, and the fact that we as Xbox fans, I was playing that game and the frame rate's bad at first, and then we had to wait for the patch, and then this, and then I bought the season pass, and so you spend all that extra money and shit, and then it takes like 3 or 4 patches for it to actually run smooth, and now PlayStation fans get it with the free season pass, for $10 less than what the actual game cost Xbox fans to begin with. So, and essentially, same thing with like, that's going to happen to PUBG. Does anybody here right now think that PUBG now won't come to PlayStation?
Well, not just that. Now, hold on, wait.
I think from the gate, everybody already knew it.
Right. But the thing is, though, listen to what Crap just said. So now you're going to get Dead Rising 4, right? Less money,
Ark.
more content.
Ark, yeah, we beta tested that.
We Happy Few, same thing there. But the thing is, when soccer cars came over to Xbox, when soccer cars came to us, we paid full price.
Yep.
Ark got free from the beginning.
Not only did we pay full price, but that's not even a big game. We lose AAAs and they lose like indies.
Oh, guys, I think you're calling a fire in a house when it's just a match. Somebody just struck a match because what happened was in the beginning when Phil Spencer first came in, he was thinking second party. All right, we're going second party all the way. We're developing our core games like the Gears, the Halo, and the Forzas under first party, but for other IPs, we're going to go second party. And when you go second party, after a while, within the contract, there is a chance for that to go multi-plat. When it comes to Ark was always planned to be a multi-plat. It's just that we have a game preview program, and there's going to be games that do that. Games that'll come to us first, just like PUBG. Games that come to us first because of the game preview. Sony doesn't want that preview program on their platform, so we get to play the game.
The problem is Microsoft is actually, just like Rise of the Tomb Raider, Microsoft paid to help fund that. Microsoft sent their own team to help develop that game, and it's going to help it come out faster to PS4.
Well, they needed to send their team there, man.
So basically, let me flip it a little bit, though. You don't hear the PC guys complaining, well, we beta tested this game. We beta tested PUBG, and now it's going to console.
I'm sure. Because they don't, for the most part, dude, I mean, there's that few that are like the master race, but for the most part, man, the PC guys don't give a shit. If they're confident in what they have, then they don't care.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. For me, it's like, and this is what goads me, right? Because it's another console, right? And to me, it's also a little bit of anti-consumerism because they're very cagey with their wording. Console launch exclusive. Well, we're publishing it, but what's that mean exactly? You know what I mean? Like, this is the bullshit that I'm talking about. It
means something. It doesn't mean anything anymore.
Why isn't it a two-way street anymore? Right. Like, Sony gets all the good games, and where's Hellblade? Where's even? I mean, Crash looks like it is coming to Xbox. Yeah, but where's the media bringing that up? Where's Bloodborne? Well, I guess Sony helped develop that or whatever. Yeah. But whatever. But like, where's the Nier Automatas and where's the
Rise of the Tomb Raider? It's up.
Yes, good point, Mooch.
Exactly. So, and they get all this shit, and we get nothing in return. And like all the games that
this all comes back to Xbox brass. This is what I'm saying. Now, you have to have a backbone. You have to say, no, we are not allowing this game. Listen, you want to do a deal with me from that one, we'll pay you a little bit more because we don't have as many consoles out there. We're willing to do that, but you're not allowed to bring this game anywhere else.
Hey guys, PlayStation Nation is counting on us Xbox fans to get PUBG in working order for them, folks. We've got to do it. I mean, it's got to be done. We've got to get PUBG running great on the PlayStation. Let's do it. Come on. Let's do it.
Listen, hold on 1 second. Yo, Phil thinks that he squashed this already. I think it was the end of 2015 and 2016 when the gaming community really kind of threw it out there, because of Tomb Raider and all this good stuff. Oh, we want more focus on new IPs, first party IPs and stuff like that. And the way that Xbox has been, they listen to absolutely everything everybody is saying, right? So he was like, all right, we're going to double down on that. And so now we're in a point of transition, right? So, if it wasn't for PUBG coming out this holiday on Game Preview, like how much worse would it have gotten for Xbox this holiday season? I mean, we have Forza Motorsport 7. For people like Super Lucky's Tale, we have that coming out.
How long
we have
before that goes to PlayStation?
Yeah.
But with PUBG, this is the one thing. We like the game preview. We're like, yo, this when they first announced it, this is going to be awesome. You are going to get titles where we get it first, game preview, because we have that. But eventually, it's going to go multiplayer.
But do you trust? Does anybody in this room trust any game that's not Halo, Forza, or Gears staying an exclusive?
No.
Crackdown,
no. There's zero. Yeah, I mean, like that's a first party thing, though.
And that's what Phil is doubled down.
Hey, listen, I'm completely happy with timed exclusives. I don't know about you guys, but as long as we get it first.
Nah, I'm not okay with that.
No, here's the thing,
you gotta have like South. Xbox used to make people feel special about the shit. You know what I mean? And I know that's lame.
And getting it first is not make you feel special. I mean,
no, not if it's going to be better later on for cheaper for somebody else.
But crap, you'll be able to run Sea of Thieves in 540p.
No, listen, guys.
I can't run it in 540p.
And 15 frames.
Guys, you gotta say, Crap's entitled to his opinion, and I know where he's coming from. But let's look at what Southie's saying and what Crap's saying. Let's split that up for a second. I do agree with South in the fact that Rise of the Tomb Raider, by the time it got to PS4, nobody cared about it. The sales on it were like nobody cared. It was low.
Yeah, what were the sales figures?
And it was not very good. Or you would have heard Sony talk about it.
Absolutely abysmal.
And the same thing's going to happen again here with Dead Rising 4. There's nothing that's big's going to come out of it.
It didn't sell that much on Xbox, so really does it matter? I mean, it
didn't sell well at all for Xbox.
It's just Capcom trying to, make some.
But Southie, that's where I'm taking your side.
I don't care about the game per se. Is what I'm saying. It's the trend.
But South, here's and this is more South, but South, what Crap's saying that we've lost completely this generation, and now we're so numb to it that even me and you, South, are like, who gives a shit? Fuck it, a year's good enough. We're numb to it, but really, that's not good enough. Because
we're in the car sinking in that gift.
Yeah,
dude.
we are. And that's it. Our faces, we're
everything.
oblivious to anything at this point. We're like, oh, you're gonna take it away from us? That's fine. Straight face, straight face.
You know how many people jumped on me this morning because I was upset, and it wasn't even a Dead Rising 4
It's not
reason
Dead
why
Rising 4. It's the situation.
It's the same situation. It's a one-way street where Xbox loses, and where's our why can't I'm not a fan of these games. I'm just fighting for you guys that maybe
you ever get your console sales back up and compete when you constantly give away? That's the way you gotta look at it that way.
You gotta have compelling content that's not on other
you guys see Bar Rescue on Spike TV, right? That big dude John that's on there, and he's like he yells at everybody, he's like, you're giving shots away. He's just yelling at people left and right. And the guy's like, dude, but it brings more people in. He's like, you got more people in your bar than next door, but they're making money over there and you're giving it away. The point of the matter is we're 30 million consoles behind. You can never catch up when you say, hey, buy this not only here for a year indefinitely, but once you say it's going to go to the competing brand, why do I need to buy the box?
Here's
marketing 101. Let me just jump in there for a second. Hold on, Crap. Let me jump in for a second because I want to reiterate on exactly what he's saying, and I want to trump that with something extra. PS4 is getting the exclusives that we had. PC are getting the Xbox game. Why buy an Xbox if their games are going everywhere? You understand?
Well, not only that, but PC's still getting their own exclusives. They're like Age of Empires.
But you see, this is the point. Something. Look. I'm gonna say it. I'll be the bad guy here. I don't give a shit. There needs to be some serious changes at Redmond. Whatever they're doing is not working, and that is the bottom line.
I think they know that.
Most gamers, PC is irrelevant, yo.
PC, eventually we want to go into PlayStation, so it's either you take this or we'll go fuck PlayStation.
You saw the specs for Forza Motorsport 7 and what it would take a PC to run it like the Xbox One X. All right, if you're willing to dish that amount of money into a PC, then go. So
it's
be
not
it.
that though. It's the people with low PCs are gonna and middle ground are still they aren't gonna care about playing it at 4K. Like a lot of them are just gonna play it on whatever bum station they have. You know what I mean? And that's less of a compelling reason that maybe look. Forza is a killer racing game. It's the best racing game. That would have been. I can tell you what. Forza Horizon 3 is a console seller. Yeah, if it would have just been only on the console.
I agree.
Look, like I have no doubt in my mind that the next Halo is going to be on PC. And you know what Microsoft has a bad habit of? They're trying to push the crossplay with PC, not realizing that a lot of the stuff that they're pushing is very unfair. Even when you look at some of these other developers, even Path of Exile, right? Shut that damn dog up. When you see those, but like you see Path of Exile, right? And that's like a Diablo style game. And they're like, are you going to do? Yeah, they're like, are you going to do crossplay between Xbox and PC? They go, no, it's completely wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair, right? But then you see the PUBG developers like, yeah, we definitely want to do crossplay with Xbox. How the hell are you going to make that shit fair? You know what I mean? And you know Microsoft does it with Gears. When Halo comes out, they're going to try mixing that up too, which is going to dilute the play because you're going to always have those assholes that are going to be like, I'll take on those PC dudes. You know what I mean? And they're going to look like assholes getting their ass kicked because a fucking mouse is precision.
Yeah.
That's just the fact of the matter. And then the people... And I just also want to say this in regards to the whole less reason, like PUBG coming to Xbox. You know how much better that would be if Microsoft just flat out fucking said, this is never coming to another console, ever.
It would sell Xbox.
That would be lovely because that is a system seller.
But you know what? everybody knows it's coming to PlayStation within 6 months to a year. And so they're just going to be content waiting because everybody knows that Microsoft has no balls and they won't spend any money. And Terry Myerson needs to go and Shannon Loftus needs to go. And a lot of people need to go.
Well, why does Shannon Loftus need to go? I don't know. I don't understand why she gets a lot of hate.
South, that's the easiest one of all of them.
Shannon Loftus is terrible at her job. First of all, she shows up to Gamescom. I don't know if you saw the Gamescom stream, and she talks about these old Kinect games that are now retrofit non-Kinect games, and they're X enhanced. Why the fuck would people buying the X care about Disneyland Adventures or Zoo Tycoon Remastered?
Yeah, you got
to about family.
She has no idea. But the X isn't the One X is not for families. It's for it's for me.
If you look at the resume of games that she's responsible for, South, since she took over Phil's seat, they've either been delayed or canceled or Mickey Mouse. And like, it's not good. Phil, when I really think that Phil was better seated in his old seat again and let him take over games. That's like his love. That's what he does so well. Yeah. And now when you ask him to take a higher seat, well, he still has a say over that, but he can't go run that division. He's got to run the other 5 as well. So he can't do everything. That's why I've stopped saying I think Phil needs to have a little bit more of the backbone when he's inking the deal. But other than that, when you're seeing the first party, that's her problem. That's her fault.
Did you not see that interview that she did also, South, where she's like, games as a fucking self-expression. It's like this whole fucking mentality needs to go, right? Like self-expression. And then she's like, she was asked about doing single player experiences, and she brings up, oh, well, we, spending $100 million on a game just doesn't make sense in this day and age when we could do something small, but we still will do single players. I like looking up YouTube videos of people's reactions to Ori 2. And they're crying. And you know what? I asked everybody on Xbox Nation on Wednesday if them motherfuckers cried, and not a one said they cried. You know what I mean? So what?
Yeah, it was more of a cringeworthy cry.
Right, exactly, Southie.
But who the hell is she talking about?
7 million people.
She is supposed to be keyed into me as a hardcore consumer. The X, nobody that buys the X is going to buy Disneyland Adventures. You know what I mean? Yeah. Nobody that buys the X is going to buy fucking Kinect Disney Rush because she's not keyed into her key demographic.
Why is it that Sony as the chat for 4 million different responses let me know, okay, Bloodborne is Sony owns the IP. Great, we got that. My point being is this. If Sony can go buy the Bloodborne IP, okay, which is a subset of the Dark Souls family. Okay, this is a big time game.
Xbox own Rise or
Sunset Overdrive. Or I understand that Insomniac game wanted that IP. That's fine. But at least say, listen, here's the deal. We're gonna do 3 games with you. Go buy. Sunset Overdrive is now a household name. It's not the same risk.
Remedy wants to make Alan Wake
2. The original, if they
absolutely.
Remedy wanted to make Alan Wake 2. Their next game got fucking the publishing rights for the equivalent of $5 million. Think about that. Microsoft could have had an exclusive from Remedy. Like, who knows when that would come out?
Right.
But for $5 million.
It takes a long time to make games.
I know that they take a long time, but they didn't have any other. Microsoft doesn't have a story-driven team like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Microsoft could have easily swooped in and done something. Like, I think that Microsoft, for the most part, they're content to do kind
Holy
of what.
Shit, I was on mute the whole fucking time.
I think Microsoft.
We didn't even notice.
I think Microsoft is very content to do what Steam. You remember what Steam, like Valve, they used to do games, right? They used to make exclusives, and now they don't. Right? I think Microsoft might be transitioning a little bit into that. Like, people like Steam because you can get cheap games and you can play and, you can do whatever. Like, I think that's what Microsoft is kind of doing. They're like, well, we've got Halo, Gears, and Forza, and then, we might, and of course Sea of Thieves or whatever. And these are games as a service for the most part. And people have to keep upping and upping and upping. And,
for Remedy's new title, you're not spending $5 million for an exclusive. That price would have jacked up incredibly.
Well, no matter what it was, you're still looking at it like they signed a deal with 505 Games for $5 million to publish it.
Yeah, but it's for a multi-plat where they're going to sell more games.
Maybe
in here.
No,
well,
but that's not
if
for
you
sure.
look at it,
Maybe.
numbers, And if you're looking at it the way people are looking at baseball teams nowadays, when they're looking at numbers and percentages and shit like that $5 million deal was for a multi-plat to where they have a huge possibility of selling more games than they would if it was exclusive.
Maybe Remedy has not hit any sales. They haven't had any sales for any of their games.
When was the last time they had a real multi-plat on console, man?
Max Payne 2?
Yeah, and that's when they sold a lot. Holy shit!
They haven't sold shit. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Well, what would be wrong if we had an Alan Wake 2 in the works? Where's Left 4 Dead 3? These are deals that Microsoft had locked up so well with these other developers.
They're not about that deal life,
and they just won't do that anymore.
That's true.
Think about right now. We're in the drought, right, guys? We're in the drought. We've all agreed that Xbox is in a little bit of a drought. Imagine if we all knew, on top of the 3 games we're getting next spring, if Alan Wake 2 was coming out next fall along with Left 4 Dead 3. That's killer. That is console sales.
Self-expression, small games. That's what Xbox fans want, clearly. And Disney Rush Adventures and whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
you're gonna make me cry, crap.
Hey,
hold on, guys. When it comes,
you have the end with them. Tell them, South. The hardcore fans don't want that. Like, get up there preaching that shit. Look, the little kids aren't watching Gamescom. The hardcore are watching Gamescom. Little kids aren't watching E3. The hardcore are.
Gamescom was a complete commercial for the Xbox One X. And when you see your leader of first-party games get up there, and when she left that couch, I wanted nothing she was selling. And I feel like we all felt like that.
And we all felt, so you can fucking, the only thing that she, like, okay, well, they canceled the Phantom Dust remake, and then they give us the fucking same asset one or whatever. Nobody, you know what I mean? I mean, that is what it is. It's like, it doesn't look good on her resume, in my opinion.
Doesn't. Like, I mean, she doesn't have a lot really coming out of first party that's been wowed or gotten critically acclaimed. We don't have a first party game except for Halo. I don't even know if Halo, do we have any first party Xbox games that Metacritic cracked over 90?
We had Forza Horizon 3.
Forza Horizon 3, right? Forza. Yeah. That's it.
Not even Ori.
But also, she's also in charge of second party. So she's responsible for going out there and making these deals on studios that have established IPs already and locking them up.
Well, you know what Microsoft don't understand, because Microsoft is a really number-driven place, right? So they do focus groups and this and that, and then they're like, well, this doesn't... Yeah, and you know what's funny is, if you go back, like, anybody that goes and plays Uncharted 1 right now, that game is not good. It is not good. Go play it on the PS3. It is not good. It is not very good.
It's got problems. Yeah.
But you know what? The second one was one of the best games of the generations.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
You got to you got to take a risk with that second game.
Dude, Sunset Overdrive, if they made a sequel that was co-op through the story, that shit would sell off the shelves like crazy.
Yeah, like, why not do that?
People that hate on that game though too. I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I didn't really like it." I'm like, "What?"
Dude, I streamed it a couple nights ago.
Even Terrible Ryan thinks that it's a good game. He says it's one of the best games. Yeah, he says it's one of the best games of this generation.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It was definitely original.
It is. And you know what? Like, here's the thing. Sony has found their current generation mega hit, which is Horizon Zero Dawn, as much as, whatever. They found that. Nintendo, they've done that too with, like, whatever, Splatoon or whatever. Like, people love that game. It sells millions, right?
Right.
So how is it that Splatoon or whatever can sell millions on a Switch that only has a small install base, but Xbox fans don't support anything that's not, they complain that they want more than Halo, Forza, and Gears, but they don't buy.
I think that's down the head right there. We gotta look at ourselves, because we're not, buying the games that we should be buying.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Microsoft also has it.
I'm not saying us, because we buy all the games that come out, but I'm talking about Xbox fans as a whole.
Well, listen though, Rise of the Tomb Raider, which was a deal, wasn't a Microsoft first party, but it was a deal they made. Sold well over 1 million copies. Aaron Greenberg said it himself, even before it was right after Christmas. All right, so it was only out for 2 months, and it did very well. Sunset Overdrive, I heard, was in the high 800,000s. It didn't cross the million, but we were also early in the generation. Plus, it was getting bad press day in and day out, even worse than now. And a lot of this wasn't really truly. I don't blame the Xbox consumer. We buy so many things. For God's sakes, every Xbox guy I know has like 65 different color-coded and scratch and sniff controllers. I mean, we've got Elite controllers. We've got different colors.
Most people outside of Twitter and YouTube, they only buy like 3 games a year. You're talking about the Call of Duty.
That is very true.
What I mean?
So why did they let Call of Duty? Why did they let that Call of Duty contract walk? That was an absolute mess. That was their
you know
claim
what?
to fame.
I kind of agree because they still sell more copies of Call of Duty on Xbox than they do on PlayStation. Plus, the numbers ever since Modern Warfare 3 have been coming down. They don't sell them as they used
It all
to.
goes to the Xbox One launch and what happened after that. The Microsoft CEOs got fucking nervous. They got fucking nervous after the whole bumbling of what the Xbox One actually was.
It continued.
Donnie Magic.
And how that shit just kind of snowballed. And of course, the CEOs at Microsoft got fucking nervous. Why do you think we have Win 10 fam now? Why do you think that they don't count hardware?
Remember that people thought I was
thumbs up.
Yo, but why do you think we have games going to PC now and no hardware being counted, but active users? All right, they're killing that whole generation thing when it comes to the Xbox. They want to show the CEOs how many people are on Xbox Live for that money on that side of things. And what's the best way? If you have people that can get on it for free on PC, that inflates numbers to the CEOs.
It did. That's what it did. That's what Jez reported today. 40% increase of.
But if you're a CEO, are you actually excited about that?
Well, I mean, I doubt it.
If it helps the bottom line,
advertisement revenue, it will be crazy.
It seem like it's a better thing for Windows.
Exactly.
Yeah, but isn't it smoke and mirrors?
It is.
It definitely is.
It's huge smoke and mirrors. Nobody. I don't know anybody that's playing
Xbox Live that's on PC. You're not paying for that. Yeah, that's revenue that they're losing from the actual Xbox.
Let me do this because it's not fair.
I know, but they're making money off advertisement revenue when it comes to Xbox Live and stuff like that on the PC side of things.
That is true. There is some money to be made there with that 40%, but it's minimal compared to the $60 we're paying a year. But here, let me just do this. I want to get Avers. I want to get you in here because I know you're opinionated as hell. And what's your take on like games that you've seen come and go, developers come and go, developers like Insomniac that have said, I really want to produce a game like Sunset Overdrive 2. We're waiting for Microsoft's green light. It doesn't happen. What's your take from your end and the research you've done for your show on some of these subjects? I want to give you a chance because it's been quite a emotional episode.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I really think that Microsoft is not interested in millions anymore. I think they want billions. I think they want more Minecraft-type IP, Halo, Gears, Forza, all of them over $1 billion. I don't think they're going to really push for sequels for those games unless they can guarantee that they're going to start to approach at least getting an IP into the $1 billion of revenue. I think with PUBG in particular, if that launches and everybody that has an Xbox buys that copy of the early access, I think they will see that as an indicator that that could become one of those types of IPs in the future. And then I think they'll lock it down. But if it doesn't happen that way, if it launches and only a couple million people get it and they're not selling DLC and people aren't downloading whatever content they can get out of it, they're going to pass on it, and it will come to PlayStation a year out the way we're all saying.
I think it's going to go to PlayStation either way. It's just too big. I mean, they're going to – not only that, but Microsoft is helping it where it probably wouldn't have gone to PlayStation until 2019 or something. I think now it'll end up getting there next year. Yeah. It just makes a lot of sense.
So why do they brag about this publishing stuff then, crap? Where's that bragging coming into play?
They're publishing because that's holiday. Yeah, because it fills a need, like the biggest game on PC this year or whatever. It's a huge game, and it's going to be only on Xbox for this holiday. So that's something, I guess, to brag about. And it could do well.
10 million in the first 5 months.
They're publishing because they're sending their engineers over there to help.
Avers, you're saying if they hit a certain number, you think it'll remain on Xbox?
I think they'll try to lock that down. Yeah, if 10 million people buy it.
The devs have to agree to this, though. That's the one thing I love. I know me and Next Gen, my brother, BGST brother, man. We go back and forth all the time about how they should lock this title up, lock that title up, and I'm like, yo,
lick it down.
But the developers have to say yes. Like,
to be fair,
hey, numbers fucking matter at the end. Yeah, so if they come out with a big blank check,
if the potential numbers are that much better when it comes to releasing multi-plat, like how much money are they going to throw on the table to be like, hey, we're making it worth it to stay just here now? Like that's going to take a huge chunk of dough to have them keep it, especially with PUBG and how hot that name is right now.
Well, you have to keep in mind that game, they're an indie developer, and Microsoft is funding the marketing aspect, and they sent their own engineers over there to get this thing up and running. So Microsoft is actually investing quite a bit
for the holiday, though, because
it's not just that, but Bluehole is really actually focused only on the PC version because that's not even.
Listen, I watched the interview. I watched the interview at Gamescom. Okay, when they interviewed the head developer of the game, and he said we focus only on PC games. So crap's right there. They literally had the Xbox guys going over there to figure out everything to make controllers as smooth as possible to make the gameplay work on console. And realistically, it really is. Sony's just sitting back with their feet on the desk and their hands behind their head, being like, "We'll wait for you guys to finish. That's fine. Let your peasants figure it all out, and we'll take the finished product." Now, where Avers makes a point is everything comes down to numbers, and with contracts, there has to be a number. If Microsoft sees for some reason an unbelievably unrealistic number pop into play here, I'm talking about millions of people buying this thing on the Xbox One, they may consider, and crap, I know it's easy for you with today's events and what we've seen over the course of the past 2-3 years where this wouldn't happen. We haven't seen Microsoft do it yet. We also haven't seen Microsoft come out and publicly say that they want to actually like grab this developer's hand, put their hands in the air and be like, we're a team. This may be something that gets locked in the PC Xbox exclusively, period. But that number has to be absolutely through the roof. But if we don't get to this level on Xbox where they lock something down, Halo and Gears can't hold us down forever. It's just not. It's not working right now. Like the shackles are already breaking loose. Everything's already falling apart.
Because usually they had it set up to where one and then the other, or you had something big, something else big. And this year there's just a glaring Halo Wars 2 and then Forza 7, which Forza 7.
Don't forget Voodoo Vince. Listen, you know.
Very important.
Yes. But South, I have a question for Southbound. South, do you know who the person is that would be the equivalent responsible at Xbox for the person that's at PlayStation that gets like the Neo games? Like the someone who locks down the third-party games, like exclusive. Like Neo's not coming to Xbox. And so who's that person that's not doing anything right now? That's actually just at a buffet as we speak, enjoying themselves.
Well, I do know one game, but I don't know exactly his name. But I know he works specifically third party, acquiring the third party games.
Is he known? Is he loud? Is he vocal?
No, he's not very known. He just barely took over after what's his name went to Star Galaxy or whatever the fuck it's called.
You're talking about it's Sony. I'm talking about who's the Xbox counterpart. Who's the Xbox person should be locking down Nehos? Who is it? I think Phil hopped the flight and did it.
Yeah, I don't know exactly who at Xbox does.
Ashen and all these games we're going to be getting in the next year, that's all thanks to Phil hopping that. Remember when Phil's like, I'm hopping a flight, I'm going to Japan? That was him.
Well, yeah, he had to make his presence known. You know what I mean?
He had to make his presence known, but realistically, Yoshida didn't lock down Neho. It was probably boys. I mean, like, my point is that we don't have these go-getters. These people are like, we're going to make this brand number one. Bottom line. Listen, the Japanese culture is strict. They don't take number two very well. Okay?
They don't really like us very well.
No, they don't. They don't. And guess what, though? But this is the one thing people aren't used to hearing me say. I wish that Microsoft staff would learn something from the Sony staff. The cut the balls attitude. Like, go out there and win. Lock down a deal. We just don't see it. And I'm concerned because PUBG has the potential of being that next Halo. And you guys are all freaking out when I say that. I don't mean the story and this and that. But it's got that unbelievable lore for anybody that ever loved multiplayer. The reason PUBG is going to be a huge success is whether you played it every single day for the past 365 days or you haven't played it in 2 years. When you pick up the controller, it's going to feel like the last time you did.
I would not say Halo on that.
Somebody's going.
Somebody's phone.
Somebody's using using a fuck. Do we got like a jug band or something? So that's what it's
got to be. Xbox 448.
It's like pounding that.
I just threw my iPhone across the room. All right.
I want to add something to what Avers said, if you don't mind.
Boom, if you just don't mind, I just want to address something with the whole Halo PUBG thing. PUBG is actually more like Minecraft than anything else because when it comes down to it, I don't see a sequel. The way it's set up with having people being able to go into the game with absolutely nothing. Everybody's the same except for like aesthetics and stuff like that. I don't see like sequels coming down the road.
No, you're right. It's more Minecraft where you're going to get versions. No. As far as the actual like developer side, you're 100% right. The reason Halo came to mind is when if we did a poll real quick, okay, like $25,000 pyramid. I don't know if you guys remember that game. And somebody goes Xbox, they're going to go Halo. You know what I mean? Like no one's going to go Minecraft right away. Now, 5 years from now, they're probably going to say Minecraft. But people still haven't put Minecraft with Xbox only because thanks
It's
to
available
Microsoft and
everywhere
Xbox, it's available everywhere. If somebody says, "Where do you play Minecraft?" They'll be like,
they acquired the franchise when it was already available
Right.
everywhere.
Yeah, but hear me out. But hear me out, though. Like literally, if you ask 10 out of 10 people, I bet you 7 people would answer Apple if they said who owns Minecraft because they play it on iPads. So my point is that like it's true. It really is true because Microsoft doesn't brand themselves that way. But yeah, that's kind of my whole point with the PUBG thing. I kind of want to move this along to the next subject because this is a big subject. This may have only taken an hour and 6 minutes to get to, but this whole thing that's going on right now.
While we got 540 watching, hit the like button.
Hit that like button.
Yeah, do it. We got a lot of people in here. They're like, man, these people are fired up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is, you thought that got people fired up. This is going to get
I was muted half the show too.
That's true. So we still have an X-Bot in reserve because he's got all that energy stored.
No, he's still tired out though because he's talking.
He was talking to himself.
I have this picture of X-Bot when he was like, "Damn it, Mel." He's like, "They're not even letting me chime in." And Mel's like, "You're muted." And he's like, "Fuck." That's what I saw happening at the X-Bot residence.
X-Bot's a huge.
Because he was too busy digging in that fucking Xbox box. He just talked.
Yeah, he's eating that.
Oh, man, I am
Burrito
so
Supreme
full right now.
I'm so full. He says. Listen,
he's like, give me that burrito crunch, Mel.
I'm so hyped. I am so hyped, and I know I'm going to get a lot of shit from the panel here for Destiny 2. But listen. It's so hard, right? But it's so hard to continue the hype when I do I mean, South. Let's be honest. I bought it full fledged. I know you, but Boom did. I did. I don't know. Avers, did you buy it?
No, I do not have that purchase.
Here's the thing. I'm excited for Destiny 2, but I'm not excited that we're not getting the best announced game yet. I bought Destiny 2 on the Xbox One completely with the understanding.
On the other platform.
Yes, I bought it on the other platform.
Yes.
But when I bought it with the intent that I was going to get the best game on the X. Now, listen, I personally will give everybody a Mooch, as much as a Mooch guarantee as I can. You're going to get an unbelievable enhancement for the X for Destiny 2. I just know that's going to happen. Don't worry about it. But I will say this. There's enough concern. I know Crap's chomping at the bit to get to this. There's enough concern that Bungie, and is it Sledgehammer that's making this year's Call of Duty?
Yes.
Okay. It is concerning that Sony has some sort of a stronghold contractually with these two people that they can't even talk about the X. I mean, they can't even talk about it in their own home with their own loved ones. Okay, behind locked doors. I can't talk about this. There's something very alarming about that.
There's a Sony employee hiding in the closet with a blow dart gun, waiting for them.
Yeah, here's the thing, right? Like, this is a little bit of good news. When you play the Call of Duty beta, it comes up as HDR. So that's good. HDR for Call of Duty World War II. Now the post-launch Destiny 2 stuff, they've confirmed for PlayStation and PlayStation 4 Pro, but not Xbox One. So that's a bit unfortunate.
Post launch.
Yeah. So, but it is sad that they also on the Call of Duty website it lists HDR as PlayStation 4 Pro, but not Xbox One. But I have to also say that last year, Infinite Warfare and Call of Duty Remastered were only HDR on PS4 Pro,
right? Not
Xbox One. So that's unfortunate. They also patched HDR into Black Ops 3, but not Xbox One. So I had significant reason to worry.
Absolutely.
And with the money that Sony spends, don't kid yourself into thinking they don't spend a lot of money to lock down stuff for Call of Duty and for Destiny 2. Those are like, you could make multiple games for the price that they pay for marketing deals for those. Hey, that's savage business. Sony's Michael Keaton on the phone talking to the McDonald's brothers, right? They put the hose in Phil's mouth. He's drowning. You know what I mean? That's what they did right there, man.
Activision shitting on all their gamers and supporters out there.
Hey, Activision's just making the money, man. Well, like, hey, if you,
I don't blame.
Are you surprised from Activision? I mean, come on.
If hold on, because this is a brand new thing when it comes to console gaming. Having these mid-gen refreshes that are slightly, with the Pro you got slightly more power. With the X you have a beast basically, and if these marketing contracts and stuff like that, if they dictate like what features you can have instilled on the better hardware of the platforms and stuff like that, that is complete bullshit. And gamers need to go out there and really, make their voices heard.
Listen, okay, so let me Xbot. Let me just add on to what you're saying. Jez Gordon, shout out to Jez, good friend of the show. Jez tweets out a little bit earlier today. He goes, instead of all the Xbox fans just saying this over and over again, the only way to truly show that you're disgusted by this is to not buy the game. Now, Jez is actually right. Okay,
yeah, but
the average yokel doesn't care. They see Call of Duty, they see Destiny, they buy it. Right. If
for the most part, when it comes to Call of Duty, all right, Activision, they cater to a certain demographic. There's a lot of people that play it, but their core audience is like boys like 10 to 14 years old who aren't gonna like say, oh man, well, they're not doing that on the other platform, stuff like that. Mom, Dad, keep your money in your wallet. We're not getting it this year. There's no way they're gonna do that.
Right. And I mean, the thing is about it is, I mean, look, I said this is not a subject for tonight. I really think Microsoft's mistake this year, the big one, was the fact that they didn't release the X sooner. November 7th is way too late. And let me tell you why it's way too late. Destiny 2 is a massive game. Yep. It's the game. Listen, when I say this, you guys are all going to get pissed. It's the game of the year. And you're like, what do you mean by that?
You're
but
right.
It is. It is the game of the year.
Absolutely is.
Destiny 2 will be talked about all the way from September. It's being talked about now. It's from now till the end of the year. It's the game that people talk to. It is crap. It is.
Pre-orders.
Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2 is going to blow. Going to sell way more.
Game of the year is going to be Zelda, no matter what, guys.
No. Guys,
they didn't even tell. They didn't even mention how many.
I'm not talking about when Jeff Keighley opens it up and he's like, the winner is. I'm not talking about that game of the year. It's the game of the year most talked about.
Yeah, everybody's going to be talking about Call of Duty and Battlefront, man.
They're not going to be talking about Call of Duty. They will be talking. Battlefront will be talked about slightly.
Super Lucky's too,
but it won't be. It is. It's Destiny.
Super Lucky.
Exactly.
It's like something Danny Boy made in.
It does in Project Spark.
Come on,
listen,
let's be real here.
I agree with you. My whole thing is this, to have Destiny come out. That's the one thing you would have seen a lot more X's roll off the shelf, even more than you already will. If it was like October 13th, so it was only like a month or 3 weeks after Destiny 2. But I get a lot of people I know that are like, dude, Mooch, you make a good point, and maybe I will pick up the X, but I'm buying Destiny 2 on PlayStation because I'm going to go ahead and play it in even if it's 4K. I'm going to play it in 4K for 2 months while you're playing it in maybe 900p. Who knows what we're getting? We don't even know what we're getting. And listen, Destiny 2, I want to remind everybody, Destiny 2 is not a game that you should be bragging about how great it looks. Destiny 2 is all about getting together with your fire team, doing these missions, having that that bond with your buddies, and going out there, getting the loot, winning, ranking higher, and preparing yourself for raids and things like what is it there with the lighthouse?
Strikes.
I'm forgetting Strikes and Osiris or whatever it's called.
Trials of Osiris.
Trials of Osiris.
We need to get you off the Destiny 2 talk, man, because there's also Call of Duty here. I played both betas, dude. I played the
Destiny
PS4
1.5.
and I played the Xbox, and I will tell you guys with straight common sense, yo, the game Call of Duty, the beta, actually plays smoother on Xbox, yo. Absolutely smooth experience compared to the
Xbox.
PS4.
We've had that happen with multiple games through this generation, and that's Microsoft hasn't been able to make a fucking phone call with the money they made on that fucking new age. That's my whole point. The Xbox has been performing better on multiple games. Crap, you did a ton of videos go back a year and a half ago where it's like, yes, the Xbox One's resolution is 900p, but performance according to Digital Foundry is better on the Xbox One. He did 1 million of those things. Digital Foundry did 1 million of those things. Guess what? Didn't add up to a hill of beans. So my point is this. That's why when everybody's like pissed off at like, oh my God, Digital Foundry just reported that we went from 60 frames to 54 frames. Nobody with the human eye has any fucking idea. And nobody has their machine rigged up to a Digital Foundry's Crave machine. Nobody knows what the hell they're talking about. I mean, you don't want to go from 60 to 23 frames. That's a problem. But 60 to 54, you got Ledbetter. They'll be like, as you can clearly see here, we're having a problem. Get the hell out of here, buddy. Nobody cares. I'm fucking knee deep in shit here. I'm waiting for my friend who's fucking 3 levels back. Who gives a shit about 4 or 5 frames? So, I mean, my point of the matter is that I think the Xbox big mistake here, folks, is that we could have really, really tried to get some of those people that went over to PlayStation this generation to come over to Xbox One X if the X was releasing sooner. Why would you release it? So it's 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks before Black Friday.
The XDKs aren't updated till October.
October what?
The towards the end of October.
Jeez.
And then you have like the certifications and stuff like that.
They couldn't up it sooner. They're in charge of the SDK.
I understand that, but that just reading their own documents, it's like the way that the patches and stuff. That's why you can't download the 4K assets yet, but you're going to be able to before the X even launches, if you have an external hard drive. But the
don't force me, crap.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just saying.
Don't force me to download those 4K assets.
They would have been able
to. You're forced to download the 4K assets. That's just the bottom line right there.
Love it.
They would have been able to release the SDKs sooner. Unfortunately, Microsoft listed a basically a burial for Windows Phone that caused it went about 3 months long. So Windows Phone is dead. Everybody had to show up there. So the SDKs were a little late.
Yeah, but a bump.
Let me hear from the rest of the panel. Southie, Avers, how do you guys feel about this with the whole Destiny 2 COD thing? I mean, do you think we're going to end up getting what we deserve in the end on the X, or are we not? Is this too late?
No, I think they're going to update the visuals and everything for the. They're going to take full advantage of the Xbox One X. I have no doubt in my mind.
They just can't say anything.
Exactly. They just can't say nothing right now before the game comes out. After
Except
it comes
for the
out,
60 frames option, but other than that, they'll take advantage.
Yeah,
of it,
but Bungie has never made a 60 frames per second game, so that's out of their ballpark.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not so sure.
Yeah,
I'm not so sure that Bungie's going to do that. If you look at their recent history, ever since they jumped ship from Microsoft, they really haven't done much to try to help the Xbox platform at all. Signing these deals for Destiny 1. And then signing these deals for Destiny 2, I don't.
Well, yeah, did you see how much money that Sony threw at them? Of course they took it. I mean,
the funny thing is, though, they wanted their freedom. They didn't want to work, and then they get into a worse thing than they were in. Like,
they got
out of
the deal that they made.
Because Microsoft still wanted them to do Halo games. And they wanted
but you know what though? The deal that they made with Activision was like signing a deal with the devil.
Absolutely.
Hey, guess what though? If they were making Halo games still, we'd be getting.
And if they would have failed to make Destiny 2 on time, they would have lost everything.
They broke up with Tanya Harding and married Lorena Bobbitt.
Well, yeah, here's the thing, right? If like people don't realize that if Bungie were still making Halo, we'd be getting 30 frames per second Halo games. Like that's so last gen. For a first-person shooter. Like, I know that people like it, and I bought the fucking game too, but it's like...
Well, haven't we heard that we're going to be
Chief still wouldn't be able to run?
Aren't we supposed to
Chief still wouldn't be able to run. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta upgrade your shit.
Crab, you did a video sometime this past week, and you were saying something along the lines of, like, they're going to... Microsoft's Xbox One X's true advantage is that developers came out and said, I think it was the Path of Exiles guys, came out and said what made it so easy was we were able to make it for PC, and that same code worked on the Xbox One X. And the point of the matter is, if Destiny 2 and Bungie has made a 60 frame per second game for the PC, why can't we play it on the Xbox One X?
It makes no sense.
It makes zero sense.
It depends if the S can do it as well. You're not going to fracture the Xbox community when it comes to online multiplayer by giving, the people who can afford a $500 system, giving them 60 frames per second, while giving everybody else with the S 30.
So why is it when I go to
have them play against each other?
Why is it when I go to buy a car, the car next to my car on the lot has navigation next to it? That shouldn't be parked on my lot.
Cars are not consoles.
No, they're way more money than consoles.
Yeah, but it's a completely different demographic there, man.
I don't think me having 60 frames because on the fire team hurts you at all.
It's an advantage to you, man. And
we're on the same team.
If Microsoft and Xbox are saying that the backbone is the S, right? Because it's the lower price point, it's the entry point hardware. If that is the backbone, how the hell are you going to stab a butcher knife in your backbone,
Okay, well, that's saying Bungie isn't making a PC port, but I mean, still, like the way that it's going, like it's still a highly optimized engine, and it's still their engine.
Why not separate the two consoles then? Same thing goes for Sony.
That's exactly what I said.
How the hell do you limit you lower the amount of players from 6 to 4, and then you make the map smaller, and then you still stick with 30 frames? Why not make the multiplayer at least 60?
It's called lazy developer.
You know what? They were in a hurry because somebody pointed out a few minutes ago that if they didn't finish on time, they would have lost the whole shit.
That is true.
We can't.
They had to cut corners somehow.
We got to do 4. We'll cap it at 30. Everything's good. Let's go.
I mean, listen, I just think there's too many. Listen, I got news for you. We can sit here all day and say Bungie never made a 60 frame. That I think it really comes down to what we just said. It's the money, it was the time, and it's also the PR is full of shit for this game. Because look, you can't tell me you made a PC version of 60 frames and we can't play it. Now, Xbox reasoning holds some water. I will say that, but Crap just answered it with, okay, fine. So make the multiplayer 60 FPS. And then make the single player,
well, see, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But there are people out there in the Twitterverse and all this stuff that's like, well, dude, if I'm spending $500 on the X, I want 60 frames on everything, and I don't give a shit about people with the S.
That's dumb.
That's
because
bullshit.
Here's the reason that's dumb.
Unrealistic.
The reason that's dumb is this is a mid-gen console, guys. You don't have to buy this console. And that's the whole beauty of this. You don't have to buy. So if someone's like, I'm not buying it, like somebody I think on Xbox Nation was like, Mooch, I just canceled my Xbox One X. I was like, thanks, I just bought yours. Listen, I didn't give a shit one way or the other what you guys do or don't do. But my point of the matter is that it's the mid-gen gives the person who's got a 4K HDR TV the ability to start using their 4K HDR TV for the purposes they purchased it. And they want to start using that in games, not just Blu-ray movies. So I think that's I guess it's inevitably going to be an us problem, right? That's an us problem because it's kind of sucks. I don't see why I shouldn't be able to get that 60 frames when the PC's getting it. And I don't really listen. The one thing Xbox I'm not going to buy into. Okay, we live in America. It's a great country, and listen. There's trade-in value deals for your Xbox One S and Xbox One Fat. There's all kinds of incentives that going into Christmas. Everybody that has an Xbox One currently in their house that play Destiny, they're like, how dare you? That's not fair.
You are in a community of a wide range of ages as well. You're thinking in the terms of adult. I get you, man. But when you're in the Xbox community,
I'm thinking in the range of 16 to adult. Yeah, 16 and up. My point being, though, is I'm not worried. The person who's 8, 9, and 10, they don't know 30 frames and 60 frames. They don't really care. They may know, but they don't care. Like, I'm talking about the people that do care. And the people, if you're 16,
those are the ones that are buying the Disneyland Adventures.
That's right. They're not playing
Nobody's buying that fucking Disneyland Adventures. Hey guys, I'm
telling my 9-year-old twins want to get their hands on Call of Duty.
That just pisses me off even more because here's Phil going and Mike, and they're all like, the X is for a specific gamer, the one that knows about teraflops, and the one that the hardcore, the super hardcore, here's
the. I don't know about teraflops, but I'm still getting fucking my.
Yeah, but like the 4K and stuff. Here's Disneyland Adventures enhanced on the X, and Zoo Tycoon, and Connect Disney Rush. Woo! These 360 games are remastered.
Crap, you got to do a video in that voice in its entirety.
It's totally going to be great, guys. Woo!
Yeah, I wonder how many views you get on that.
Like, come on,
yeah.
Here's a donut. Like, that shit's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
on the wall.
I cannot fucking stand the fact that this person is supposed to be know the people that your audience is, right? Like, look, I'm Crap Gamer. You know who my audience is? It's mostly Xbox fans. They want to hear
mostly haters.
They want to hear Xbox. No, actually, it's not, man. It's not. Honestly, I do get. It's easy to remember some of the haters because you can get a couple hundred, even a couple thousand. But the bottom line is, I hit 35,000 subscribers this week, and that is mostly Xbox fans that want to go somewhere to get something positive. And it sucks when I can't be positive all the time, but it's for the betterment. Like, I get rid of some of these people and get somebody in there that knows the hardcore a little bit better and understands what we want. And it sure as shit isn't Disneyland. Isn't that just going back to what we hated before and remastering the stuff that we hated?
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you, Cappy, who would you replace her with?
So I would replace her with somebody young, maybe somebody in their 20s, early 30s that has a great gaming background, hardcore gaming background.
We'll just say 30s.
You want to know who I'd replace her with?
Who?
Phil. Jeff Rubenstein.
Jeff Rubin, maybe.
Yeah, you disappoint me, South. You disappoint me. I put my name in the hat there, and you didn't pull it, man. I am very disappointed in you right now.
That's a good name to pull out. I'll roll with that. Jeff seems like he's. I mean, I don't really know.
Well, he plays a lot of games, and he's very in tune with the community.
Somebody that actually plays the games, knows what we want. Not like, look, you can still do the kiddie shit, but look how much. Okay, PlayStation is absolutely killing it.
And he didn't even use the white gloves for his last video on Xbox Weekly.
Yeah, but look, like guys, listen, right? Like Sony, they have some kiddie shit too, right? But you don't even see them push that. Like, where was the Knack footage? That game's releasing this month, like in a couple
releasing Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. It's releasing Tuesday, right?
Demo for crap, yeah.
Exactly. So they're not even pushing that because that's not their main demographic, right? Yeah. Their main demographic is the hardcore gamers, and so they push the shit for the hardcore gamers, like, believe it or not. So that's why GT Sport gets a push, even though it's a shit game, but they're also pushing the games that they market, like Destiny 2 and Call of Duty, because those are what their fucking hardcore gamers want. Like, Microsoft is a little bit out of tune. They get some stuff right, and then they backtrack, and then they're like, well, maybe we want this, maybe we don't. But
that's true.
Absolutely, 100%. You do not go up there and say, we got the X, and here's some kiddie games that we remastered that everybody fucking hated on the 360 Kinect, and we remastered them and took away the Kinect functionality. That is lame and
not
super
only that,
cheap.
but she had the stage to herself. There's no Sony in sight. It's your own thing. You had such a large audience tuning in just to hear that pre-orders are available now. And that's all people were tuning in for.
How you walk, you do a mic drop moment right there with that lady. Instead of announcing those ridiculous games on that couch, if you would have come out and said, yeah, here's the trailer for the next Splinter Cell that's exclusive on the Xbox One X, the internet would have broke.
Absolutely. And think about it this way. The Last of Us 2 was a CGI, right?
Right.
Where Joel kicks an old plum over to Ellie while she's strumming a guitar, right?
Yeah, I gotta be honest.
Everybody fainted in the stands.
I gotta be honest with you guys. I think what happened with this whole thing is, like, with the Crackdown delay and everything, and knowing that there wasn't a lot there for like exclusives and stuff, I feel like remastering these games was easy, probably cheap, and it's something they had.
Easy and cheap. Phantom Dust remastered, Voodoo Vince remastered. These are fucking like 360 Kinect games, dude. And I like the game, but give me a break. Why remaster it? Why not like go like these games are hot again? Why not remake it? You know what I mean? Like, do something. It's like they were struggling to get fucking Phantom Dust remastered, and it was basically the same damn game. You know, it's like those 410.
So let me get a consensus here. I'm going to ask down for people I don't know first. Avers, are you buying Destiny 2? Will you buy Destiny 2?
I don't think I'm going to buy Destiny 2. I mean, I think you might get the HDR update at some point in time, but like you're saying, the 60 frames per second mode that you could have on the X, absolutely. And if they develop for the X, everyone knows this now, you can then scale down to the S and just get like a lower graphical version of it and still hit 60. All these other games are doing it. There's no excuse.
That's right.
But you just broke Mooch's heart, by the way. I hope you know that.
He did. No, Avery, did you play Destiny 1?
I played it a little bit, but it's it's one of those games like you guys were saying, you need to put 1,000 hours in, and you need to put a couple hundred hours in. I didn't have that much time when it came out. I was working quite a bit, so not too much.
Mooch is such a fanboy for Destiny, man. It's
the reason I like it, but here's the reason I like it is, listen, let me explain.
But he wasn't at first, remember?
I wasn't. I absolutely was not. And I'll be honest with you, I was begrudgingly playing it when I first started a little bit because my good friend Southbound, everybody was already way ahead of me. I was where crap was today, where I was like, come on, South. I'm like, you want to do this mission? He's like, I've done that mission like 75 times, dude. And I'm like, oh, man, nobody ever wants to do it. But that's why getting in on the ground floor. Here's the thing, though. Let me explain, because Xbot makes a good point. I'm not the craziest Destiny 2 fanboy of all time. I push it a little bit because the reason I like it is after the first 2 weeks, the hype level's gone. Okay, it's gone. I'll say that even though I'm excited. It's gone. But what's great about it is there's your daily missions, there's your strikes, there's raids. The game is evolving monthly. Okay, there's Iron Banner, which is a different type, a different set style of different loot you can acquire from doing a multiplayer. They change the raid every month. Like, you know, guys, it's fun to get involved with this kind of stuff. They don't change the raid every month, pardon me, but they change it every 3 months. You get usually a new raid, and that's a neat thing. And that's a 4-hour experience with people, and you really do become buddy with a lot of these people that you play with because you're going through these trials and tribulations together. It's a unique experience. Okay, if half of you guys are going to go out there, okay, and put this ridiculous looking motorcycle helmet on your head and tell me that you like to simulate skiing in your living room, then you can sit down on your couch, have an adult beverage, and enjoy a shooting game with your friends. Right?
I'm not going to be able to play no fucking game for 4 hours, though.
Crap, it's not 4 hours. Who's talking about 4 hours? That's
you just said 4 hours.
Yeah, it's 4 hours for a raid.
Raid.
One raid once a month, and you don't even have to do it.
And the time fucking flies when you're playing. It
flies, dude. There's so many puzzles and things you have to do in cohesive working with the team. It's 4 hours once a month if you choose to. If you choose to. It's not mandatory. mandatory by no means, and you don't get penalized for not doing it.
Let me just reiterate on that, just so the folks out in radio land know. I put 1,100 hours plus into Destiny 1. You know how many raids I did? 0.
Right.
You know what? A lot of people did.
It just was not my thing, but I enjoyed doing strikes with my brother and my friends, and we just would run around the map and just shoot things, collect loot. It was fun. Hashtag
fun, guys. Now listen, there's Xbox. You asked a good question. I want to continue to answer it because a lot of people need to hear that. Like, well, Mooch, why are you so into it? Once we get past this amazing fall, right? Star Wars Battlefront 2, you've got all these great games, you got COD, all this stuff. Once you get through all that and that hype level's down, it's January, it's February, guess what? There's a new iteration coming out in Destiny. There's a new DLC coming out. There's a new this and that. Or not even new. You go in, you do your dailies, you get these rewards, you get to buy new loot, new stuff. It makes your character better. And you don't have to spend a lot of time on it, 25, 35 minutes a night to do a strike. My point is that the game continuously evolves. And the game doesn't get boring in that essence because you're playing with your friends to accomplish something every evening. Even the slightest accomplishment feels good. That's something when you get these other games. Listen, there's so many people on Twitter that are like, I can't wait. I can't wait for Uncharted 5. I can't wait for it. And then they go home at midnight launch and they beat it in 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours, whatever it takes. They beat it without even eating or going to the bathroom. And everything they waited for 2 years is over in 10 to 12 hours. This game can last you 3 years legitimately. For a lot of people, it did. Yeah.
Mooch, with that mentality, you're absolutely going to love Sea of Thieves.
Here it comes.
Just saying.
I always bring that up, and Mooch is just like, I don't know, man.
Well, the reason, first of all, I never sound like Hellhammer, but listen. Listen, I will give Crap credit. Crap does sell it. I am coming around. I'm coming around on Sea of Thieves. Okay.
Hey, if you get a good group to play with, just like Destiny, how you're so anti-Destiny. If you get a good group to play with it'll definitely get you into it.
Okay, so South, answer me this then with Sea of Thieves, okay? I'm coming around on it, but I know what I'm getting with strikes, and I know what I'm getting with raids, and I know what I'm getting the detail of the multiplayer. Where is the multiplayer strikes, raids, and Trials of Osiris that I'm getting with Destiny? What am I getting that's similar to that in Sea of Thieves?
We haven't seen it yet.
And that's my concern. Thank you. The defense rests.
What are you talking about? We haven't seen
anything. I've seen a guy get shot out of a cannon into a coffee cup.
Can't talk about you are going down on it, but there's the Kraken stuff. There's the, you know what I mean?
All right, I'm not going to ask you guys. We're all under NDA, okay? But hear me out, real quick question. Yes or no? Have you guys done more than 2 missions that are South, because the Crap hasn't really done a lot of the Destiny stuff? Has there been missions that are strike worthy that you've played? Yes or no? Don't tell us anything about it.
Time specific type things.
Time specific.
Not that I've seen.
Really.
There's events. There's events.
There's live events in Destiny, and that's the worst part of Destiny, by the way. Because that's my concern.
Those intricate. No.
Listen, I'm not down in Sea of Thieves. All I'm saying is there's a concern. I don't know. I know what I'm getting in Destiny 2. I don't know what I'm getting in Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, the same stuff you got in Destiny 1.
Yes, and I liked it.
At Gamer Boss out there, Mr. Craig Duncan, man, you need to hit up Mooch and let him know. Give him a couple details of what's going on with the game on Twitter. DM him, man, and let him know.
I do want to know. An Xbox. Listen, I'm happy to stay corrected.
Play the alpha sometime.
I would. The last time I played it, I couldn't get in, but that was a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's because so many people want to play it. Like the game is fun.
Send me a DM.
I'm all about it.
Yo, send me a DM on Twitter when you want to get in on Sea of Thieves. I'll go in with you, and we will have a blast.
I have it downloaded on my machine.
It's every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
I thought it was Saturday.
No, those are the specific Yeah, it's every Wednesday, but they also do them on weekends sometimes too.
When they add new shit, they open up the weekend show.
I just don't ever see any of you guys play. I know everyone I know is in the alpha, and I don't see anyone ever playing it. Not since the first month.
The challenge that they had with
put
Gamescom,
a ton of time in there. Yeah.
The Gamescom challenge where you had to complete there was this one story you had to complete, had multiple chapters in it.
Get stuff.
Southbound. What are you hearing? Anything from the guys at Redmond? Are they? I don't want to hear. I know you can't tell us anything in depth. All I want to know is this: are they pleased with the success, or the development, if you will, of Sea of Thieves?
Yes, they're definitely very excited for it. Very happy with it, especially Craig Duncan. He's happy.
Craig Duncan. Let me say this:
Rare is back. Congratulations to them. I hope it's a huge success. I really do.
I will say this much. I mean, South, I'm with you. Craig Duncan is probably one of my favorite people. I don't know if he's an Xbox player or not, but he's great.
And from Rare developers, you can see just how they act. You know how some people when they're interviewing, they're just kind of like towing the line, but you can see the enthusiasm and the excitement from these guys whenever they're interviewed. How much fun they're having making this game,
right,
dude? And they talk to you too. Like they are awesome people over there. They actually like they'll talk to pretty much just about anybody like in the chat or whatever. You pose a good question.
Craig Duncan, let me tell you,
right there.
Not only is he responsive like that, Xbot, but I've actually just bullshitted him with him like on just everyday shit. Like I was barbecuing, he was barbecuing. He sent the picture out. I sent one, and I'm like, "What the hell wine is that?" And we went back and forth, talked wine. Listen, the guy's awesome. I'm just gonna tell you that
he's
much.
A wine connoisseur.
He is. He's a wine nut, which I love about it. That's great. No, listen, I want to get another subject here, guys. I really want to get the whole panel involved in. Recently, Mike Ibarra went on, and I don't know if he did it on an Xbox channel and then let Rand broadcast, or he did it on Rand's channel. I don't know how that worked, but he did a 25-minute walkthrough of the new UI that a lot of the alpha folks have right now. And again, I will say that Mooch's, I'm not sold, but I'm coming around. I like what Mike showed.
You know who's not coming around?
You know who's not coming around? I'm not coming around. No, I literally think that it was great that Mike came out and took the time to step through and show people who don't have it or people who do have it.
Part of his job, though.
Well, yeah, but when we have never really gotten, who the heck gets a note that says, "Hey, tune in on Wednesday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Coach Mike Ibarra will take you through the UI." That doesn't really come around very often. So this was a neat little thing that he did that I thought was great. Usually he does a 5-minute segment with Larry Herb on a Tuesday at noon. This was good, and he went through. I love the highlighted boxes. I show a little bit of that flair you got in Windows 10. Show us a little bit of that power you got there. These little things that make it so it's not just a gray and black box. They opened up pictures. They got the pins are good.
Yes.
But Mike answered a question yesterday, and I was a little skeptical. The pins all showed up, folks. You can get up to 40 pins, but they scale down. And if you're probably going, "What do you mean, Mooch? What do you mean by scale down?"
Size of the tile.
If you go into your options now and you hit small tiles, that's kind of what they look like, even a little smaller. So, myself personally, as much as I wanted 40 pins, I really don't want those pins where I got to hang a fucking magnifying glass off the end of the television.
That's why you use it off the guide, though, man. You can set up your pins on your home dash, but here's the deal. I actually counted because I put my apps in a certain place on my pins and stuff, and with them putting the 40 pins into your guide, which comes over on the left side, absolute genius. That is where I'm going to be going for my pins from now on. I'm not going to be scrolling down my home screen at all anymore. And I thought it was a really great idea, and it's a really, really nice touch to the UI.
I hope they just nail the UI, man. But it's like they're always like, "Hey, we're looking to change it if feedback and this and that."
It seems like they're changing it every 3 fucking.
But the feedback,
never get used to it.
Feedback was actually good this time, though.
It was good. Shout out to Rand in the chat, and actually, because Rand, if you're listening right now, was that done on your channel? Just let me know in the chat so I can give credit. Let people know. Go to Rand's channel, check out Mike Ibarra's great walkthrough of the new UI. And Mike W in the chat, he goes, "It's not that small, Mooch. Jeez." Listen, I'm not picking on it. Listen, I got my 40 pins. I'm happy as shit. All I'm trying to say is that I just hope they're not that small. I don't have I opted out of the alpha. I'm now what you call a delta. Okay, I've been put in delta because I wanted to be in the system, but not in that system. I didn't want to be part of I like to come home and play video games. I don't want to come home and you turn on your new UI in the alpha and the fucking Xbox flips you off. So I can wait a little while for that. But where were we a second ago? Who was speaking? I apologize. I interrupted.
Well, no, when it comes to the features, like people want like those 2 random tiles at the top, which would like show what other people are doing and stuff. Mikey Barr said there was feedback there, and when there's something that goes up there that you don't like, you'd be like, "Show me less of that." And stuff like that. So they are catering.
Show me less of that.
Yeah, I don't want that shit.
Rand said he did it on his own channel and then uploaded it to Rand's channel for everybody else to see.
Yeah, he recorded it and then played it on his channel. Smart move, Rand. Smart move. I like that. It was a great video. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? What's your take on it? Like, do you guys, who has the alpha, by the way?
Oh, I do.
They're
doing live backgrounds or dynamic backgrounds coming soon.
I saw that, but Mike
That's awesome.
didn't talk about it. He showed it.
The live tiles is kind of be like what they had on Windows Phone. Right?
Well, I mean, look here. Hey, the Xbox guys, we don't get a lot of exclusives, but what we do get is constant updates to our UI and fucking controllers out the ass. So we got to be happy with that.
Well, wait.
The only place that updates UI and graphics like that more is the next podcast. I'm just saying.
This is true. This is a true story. Listen, I got news for you guys.
BGSC.
BGSC.
That wasn't my fault, motherfucker.
That's totally.
I love that cock talk.
Hey, this is a PG-13 show, there, Southbound.
Hey, CALK. Cock.
But in all honesty, though, guys, like I like what I saw. Now the background there, crap that we saw. Is that going to be like Sony's where the dynamic and everything moves?
Stuff, yeah.
Listen, I got news for you. Bravo to Sony for doing that ahead of time.
Do that. I didn't think they could do that on the Xbox side with the way Windows 10, man. It's just been so static. You could grab wallpapers from like your PC and stuff and use that as backgrounds to the dash. I just thought that there was another element of coding there that probably couldn't be done. And if they come through with that the dynamic backgrounds, that is freaking awesome, because that was one of my favorite parts of the 360 dashboard.
Imagine a Halo dynamic background or something.
You just know how to melt my heart right there.
Dude, I would love a fucking Halo dynamic background. Like, this is the thing with the whole Xbox 360 to Xbox One. When you jump a generation, you should have all the shit that you had on the previous generation and then add to it. Not strip it down bare bones and fucking give it back to you 4 years later and then expect people to be like, yay! You know what I mean? Like, to me, that never made sense. Like, fuck.
The thing that makes me excited, though, crap, is Xbox has always done one thing up. So Sony did have the share button on their controller first.
Yeah, good for them.
That was great.
They saw the future of sharing, you know what I mean?
Right,
and
absolutely. But Microsoft, when they put now, even though it's still more of a pain in the ass to share ours right now, the picture quality is a better picture quality from what I'm understanding on the Xbox.
Well, Xbox is all about self-expression games and small games. So we've got so we've got that, you know what I mean? We've got that to look forward to. So
where my sales pitch was going was if the dynamic backgrounds should be absolutely stellar on the Xbox, even though they're 3.5 years late. Yeah, no, that's fine. I think that's a great take. Would anybody else catch that video that Rand had put on his channel?
Yeah, I watched it today. It was good. I really enjoyed it.
Anything stand out to you or not stand out to you? Something you're still waiting for? Boom.
No, actually, believe it or not, the pins was a concern. If you remember when they first showed it,
of course it was a concern.
They lowered it to like 15 pins 18, or something. Yeah, and it was terrible. And I got really excited when I said, okay, 40 pins. I like seeing all my games there.
For all you pin maniacs like Mooch is, not only do you get that at the bottom of your screen, but now if you go to the actual the guide and you hit pins, all your pins show up, which is cool when you're in game or in movie to be able to switch out and do another application. I think that's very cool.
To me, it's even quicker. Like when I start up my system, because one of the first things I do when I start up my system is I look to see who's online. So I pull that guide up right off the bat.
Is there still an extra step to get the chat, or have they resolved that in the new alpha?
They have. It's still the same process so far, but one of the things I would actually like to see them change, I think they're going to implement it like down the road, is these customized blocks that they do. Like I have Halo 5 as a customized block. I want to be able to go in and customize each individual tile. Like I might not care like too much what the dev is saying about that game at one point in time, but I might want to put my achievements up there in that group of tiles on that block, and I'm waiting for them to kind of throw that in there to be able to customize each individual tile in the block. Yeah.
Well, you know, the individual like tiles that you're talking about, I like, but when we were saying dynamic tile, you scared me there, Xbox, because you said like Windows 8 with the live tiles. I don't want anything to do with live tiles.
Why not, man?
Oh, that was scary. That was an awful.
Dude, it's not on your phone though. It's not on your
phone. It's not on your phone.
Like if you have a tile there that flips over, it's like one thing. It's like
That's
new
one of the
update
things I
coming
love
for Halo
about Micro's
5,
phone.
and then it flips and it says, "Oh, by the way, your friend Xbot is playing right now. Do you want to join him?"
Right.
I don't see a problem with that.
Here's my question, Southie. South? Do you have the alpha?
You know what? I'm in the alpha program, but I haven't gotten the update yet for some reason.
Like, but do you have the new UI?
No, I don't.
So you can manually elect to take it or not take it. Is that what it is? It's probably sitting
No,
there.
I don't know. It's weird because when I checked the the little app, it said I'm in the alpha group, but I haven't gotten the update yet. So
Okay.
all right.
Is it a newer Xbox for you?
No.
Weird. That's very strange.
Be like, hey, Phil. Well, how come I don't got this? Then he'll hook it up, bro.
Your
Like,
shoe shining. Your shoe shining has not been.
I don't
as
like
good,
to
man.
complain.
Next time you're playing some Halo 5 with them.
Throw a little complaint in there, Southie. They won't mind.
Yeah,
I don't know how you guys play Halo 5 without me, man. That's all I gotta say.
Avers, do you have the new UI?
No, I'm in the same boat as South. I've, I should have it right now. I don't know why I don't. So that's
probably coming out. Maybe I don't think I've ever heard of Alpha Wave 2, but I mean, maybe they're just rolling it out to different.
Do you guys take part in the
it's a little
surveys
trip.
and everything, man?
Yes,
Of course.
Yeah, I'm like level 13 or something. So yeah.
That's not bad at
I'm
all.
like number 3 on my friends list.
Really? Wow, you guys definitely should have it. That's a bit odd and concerning, but I mean, crap. Now you have the UI.
Yeah, I mean, like when it's not busy making me reset everything to factory settings, it's one of those things that.
Do you like the horizontal versus the vertical?
I think it's fine, but I've had to. It resets my thing. Like, have you guys not noticed that in the past 2 weeks, there's been 2 huge Xbox problems, right? That's really gone unreported. One was you couldn't play your games the other week, like fucking digital.
That was
physical,
all of us.
Yeah, nothing fucking worked. Like, this is like, and nobody talked about it. Like, it just fucking nobody talked about it. And now this
I think
week,
I was laundry bot that day, man. I wasn't even on the system.
Yesterday or the day before, people were waking up to just having factory fucking resets on your Xbox. Like, that happened to me again, right? Like, I'm tired of the factory reset stuff. I try to leave it, even if you leave, because on the other Xbox I left and it's still a problem. Like, it still gives me these updates sometimes, so I don't understand it. But hopefully they get this shit fixed, and I don't mind it. Whatever they do, just make it so when I load up YouTube, I don't have to back out of it and close the app like I do like 75% of the time, because it locks up. So, like, fix that shit, and I'll be happy, man. I don't even care what it looks like at this point. Just make it good. Make it efficient.
I have one issue with the YouTube app. This is a weird thing. I got to know if anybody on the panel has this issue. I'll go into the YouTube app, right? And it'll power up, and I'll see, like, the videos and stuff. I'll go to move, like, the highlight, and my controller won't work with the app. I actually have to shut the controller off and then turn it back on.
Well,
and then, like, I can navigate YouTube.
That's got to be an alpha thing, because I don't have that problem. But YouTube's always been a problem all the years we've had it.
I haven't had that problem in the alpha Xbox.
You do or don't, clowns?
I don't. I haven't had that issue.
Yeah, Snaps gets so pissed when that happens. When she takes the controller and all of a sudden
I actually like to hear
work.
clowns. What's your take on the alpha? You're Mr. like hacker guy. What do you think about this shit?
I will say that I think that as far as Microsoft improving, Xbox improving the engineering aspect of it, I think it's very efficient. Like, it is faster. It does move better. Of course, it's got its quirks because we're supposed to submit feedback. But yeah, I do like the fact the way the home looks, and I do like to see, like, Assassin stalks me sometimes. I understand, but I'm on probably his home screen. But yeah, no, I like all that stuff, man. Mooch, I think that's the way to go with this.
I don't mind it. And when Mike went over what was the recommended friends, he said that'll change. But the one thing that he said yesterday that was, I wouldn't use the words alarming, but it was just a little disheartening, was that he said you can go in the alpha right now and you can say, okay, whatever they put there in those 3 slots that are underneath your main title, you can pick something. You can go in and say more like this or less like this.
I like that, man.
And
can I say
that's
something real
okay,
quick?
but why can't I just pick what I want?
Somebody in the chat was like, all you got to do is quit the YouTube app and then restart it. Like, how is that okay?
Who wants to do that all the time?
I mean, why is that okay with people? Like, shouldn't we be able to start up our fucking YouTube app?
Well, I gotta say,
that's a good point, crap.
Last time, right before
when
this,
did we get so complacent with bullshit and bad products?
Yeah.
Well, before this most recent patch on the alpha, I used to get, like, the games frozen, and I have to close them and restart them. and then it would kick me out of the party. So yeah, you shouldn't have to do that.
All right, the biggest glitch I'm dealing with now with this new update is my pins. Actually, I cannot add or take away from my pins right now. So like they gave me 40 slots and I only have
those
like
are the games you like.
That would suck because I always
You
put my
can't
new
do Halo 30 times. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I put my
not even in my pins. I actually made that a customized block. All right, so that's out of my pins, man. I don't need it in 50 different areas. Yeah.
No, I honestly think listen, there's something good going on here, and I think Tim might have actually talked to somebody behind the scenes. Tim Dog actually tweeted something out there that I thought was interesting. What are you laughing at?
Oh no, TLR9 says crap. All you have to do is close the app, do 3 jumping jacks, pick your butt, reopen the app 3 times, and restart the console to get the app to work. Exactly, man. Like you know how many times I've got to fucking like hard reset my console?
Well, at least you don't have to scan your retina.
Like, I guess, like right now, I mean, who knows in the future?
I think at the end of the day, this thing's going to be really great. My only concern is that, and I'm not used to it. I haven't used it yet, but the horizontal thing, I don't know if I'm sold on that. I like the vertical that we have now. I like when we press that the user guide comes out and it's vertical. I really, really like that. I don't know if does the horizontal.
I don't know
thing
what you're
work for you
saying
guys?
with the horizontal and the vertical.
At
though.
the top, like at the very top, like you could scroll through. Do you know what I'm talking about?
What, like home mixer community store?
No.
In the
oh, I know. In the guide, I got you. Here's the thing, man. There is a learning curve here. There's like when you do get this like new UI, at first you're gonna be like, "What the fuck's going on, man?" You're like. But after you've used it for a while, and I've used it since the first build came out that same night and whatnot, I've actually grown really accustomed to it, and I actually personally I like it better now.
Here's my thing.
You're gonna have to learn, but you're gonna have to learn it. There's
Xbox. Don't forget the reason that you like Windows. The reason you've always liked Windows Phone and the things that you like. I mean, I've known you long enough. You like, but you like the no, it definitely wasn't. The fact of the matter is that you like the tinker. You like to tinker with, and don't get me wrong, that's what makes you into tech. You like to tinker. The problem is that there's 35 to 38 million Xbox One users out there in the wild. 2 million out of those 35 million like to come home every night and tinker with their Xbox. A lot of them don't. I have a friend of mine. He doesn't know anything about podcasting and YouTube. He doesn't care about it. He plays Destiny and COD. That's all he plays, right? He's like everybody else.
But dude, you don't have to have anything on your homepage.
Yeah, but his point, his point was I come home every 6 months and I got a new UI to learn. And he's like, then I just like you do have to admit, as much as we're getting more stuff, I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying you do have to admit that since 2013 till like 5 seconds ago, the PlayStation 4 UI, for the most part, 98% of it is the same as it was when you took it out of the box in 2013. Well, people appreciate that in the casual world. They don't want to keep coming home to an instruction booklet.
Well, me and K Mega have been on this as well. Like this after this update, just work on stabilization of the party chat, all that good stuff. Do not change this shit again.
Right. Yes, please. And that's my whole point is enough's enough with but we're giving you more. Well, take it easy. We don't need any more. Just take one thing and refine it. And I think on the PlayStation 4, when you hit the PlayStation button their version of the X button, it used to bring up a very undetailed amount of options early on in the generation. And now you have a ton of options when you're holding your PS button, right? It gives you your power options, your friends. You can go right to chat. There's a lot of quick stuff.
They took the best part about the Xbox UI and implemented it into
absolutely
into their much smoother PlayStation UI. Yeah.
Thank you. And that was it. And when I looked at it, I was like, I'll be damned. That's all you really need.
Also, one of the best things about their whole sharing idea is you press a button, your screenshot shows right up on Twitter. You don't have to go to some offsite thing or whatever, What a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah,
like Microsoft sometimes doesn't get it, and I know that they're going to change that, but still, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, you want to make things quick. And I'll be honest with you. Listen, a lot of people complain. The Twitter thing for me on the Xbox, the biggest problem with it is getting to the screenshot. I think once you have it, getting to the Twitter isn't that bad.
I never even see anybody share screenshots anymore because it's such a hassle.
It is a hassle on Xbox.
It's a hassle. And you know what I do to share? I don't share like from my Xbox per se. When I'm at my PC, the screenshots that I've saved, I go to the Xbox app on my PC. Right click on there, save. Then I go to Twitter, and then you know what I mean? That's a bunch of, like how many steps is that? It's stupid.
You know, and they've made so many iterations of the controller. Why did they put a share button on the controller somewhere?
Microsoft made a cell phone to where they had the Xbox app on it, and you know you could just share it from there, man. I don't know.
I have a Windows phone, but also let me point this out too. Like I saw somebody made up. Somebody made up a mock like chat pad thing that hooks into the bottom of an Xbox One controller with a share button on there.
Yes, that's
awesome.
I would totally buy a little piece that you plug into your thing to share.
So would I. I would buy that. It's basically what the chat pad was. I can't remember if it was Diego or it was Crypt. It was somebody that does a lot.
Diego.
Yeah, I think it was Diego. Shout out to Diego. Great design. Whoever did, I don't want to steal that from somebody else, but it was great. What it was a very thin bar, folks. That really it plugs in right like your chat pad would. But instead of having the entire fucking alphabet fucking taking up your hand space, it's a nice thin little bar. It had a share button. I think it even had a forward, a fast forward, a reverse, a play. It had a couple of buttons on it. It was awesome. Very thin, very sleek. It wouldn't get in the way of you holding the controller. Whoever came up with that, actually, it might even been Xbox Pope. It was one of the guys that do a lot of design work for the Xbox. So it was Diego, Crypt, or Pope. One of you, all you guys are geniuses. So thanks for actually doing something that Xbox should have done a long time ago. Well, with that, guys, before I get a nasty DM from Crap telling me my 2 hours are up, let me go through some of the outros here because I had a really great. This was a great episode. I can't thank the panel enough because I think everybody in the audience realizes just how passionate everybody is on this panel. We are very excited for the X. We can't wait to play all of the great multi-plats we're going to be getting on the X. But at the same time, we have a lot of questions and concerns for our friends in Redmond. We hope that they answer these questions for us as the months go forward. We'll find out as time prevails. But let me start where I like to go back the reverse way. Avers, thanks for coming on tonight. I definitely can tell you this much. It's not going to be the last time you come on. I want to have you on. Your show's fantastic. And what I like to do now is give you an opportunity to plug your show and let people know because you guys do too much work, have a great set, and have great chemistry between each other. Shout out to Moxie as well, who's always very lively on Twitter, and I appreciate all of her likes and everything on Twitter. You guys do such great work. Where can people find you?
First of all, thank you so much for saying that. That means a lot to hear that. That's a great encouragement to push us even further. So I am at G4G Media is the YouTube channel, and the Twitter handle is Avers_G4G Media. So yeah, thank you so much for having me on the show. And like I said, that's really big to hear that. I do want to say one thing about Destiny though. If they end up supporting the X, they end up coming out with the next version, even if it's later on November, December, I will buy it the day it comes out because I do think we should support dubs that support it. So yeah,
I actually, you know what? And I wish we brought that up actually, and shame on me because there was somebody in the chat that was like, Mooch, you only asked Avers if he was going to get it. You didn't go down the rest of the panel. First of all, I know what the rest of the panel is. I can tell you right now. Craps, yes. Southbound's yes. Clowns is no. Xbox, no. Boom is yes. There you go. I wish I could do the lotto numbers as easily as I just did that. But, you know, realistically, that's a great point, Avers, is that here you got a situation where when you see a developer is going to back up the X and do this, and you'll see, I said the same thing when it comes to purchasing the X. Don't start complaining that you want better graphics, you want better visuals, you want resolution, you want frame rate, and then they come out with mid-gen consoles or consoles that are more powerful and you don't buy them. It tells the company you're not interested. And if you're not interested, they won't make it because they don't make any money. So, Avers, thank you for bringing that to everyone's attention. Absolutely a good point. My buddy Southbound and Down, who whatever the hell he did at DMV, he kicked somebody in the ass because he was like, dude, I got to get to CrossFire, so hurry the fuck up. Hell yeah. I really appreciate you being here, Southie.
I had to make it.
I love it. You know what that means? That means I'm on the phone with somebody else, and I'm really glad I can make it to Crossfire. Thank you, Southie. I really appreciate it. I got you, buddy. My buddy, my paisan, Clowns, thanks for being here, buddy. Tell everybody about Four Guys. Four Guys with Quarters has been great, and shout out to Assassin, because Assassin Yo, shut that damn dog up.
Yeah, that's not mine. On them fuckers.
Shut that damn dog up. No, this crap's line. But Assassin's been awesome on Twitter lately, and he's one of your buddies from Four Guys.
Yeah, I mean, every Thursday night, 7 or 7:30, you can check us out. 4 Guys with Quarters, the number 4 Guys with Quarters. Search everywhere. We should be there. There's some past episodes with Mooch, Crab, Xbox, Outbound. We got to get Boomstick on there.
Yes, that'd be awesome, dude. I'd love it.
Yeah.
Great show.
So definitely check us out.
Hey, shout out to Assassin for the loss in his family, man. That was heartbreaking.
That was heartbreaking. Our hearts definitely go out to Assassin. That's one strong dude, guys. You got to remember. And let me tell you something. Assassin's humor might not. You guys might not understand it, but his humor is. It's a little on the darker side, but it is crystal. If that dude does any open mic night, Mooch is flying to go see that shit first row.
I told him he should drop the mic. You know, he should just like say something, drop the mic.
He should, dude. I'm telling you, he's got a way. He cracks crap up, and he's hard to make anything laugh on it. So, anyways, no, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Xbot 448, buddy. You have so much cholesterol concerns right now with all those Xbox. Thanks for being here tonight, bro. Where can we find you?
Yeah, no doubt. I gotta say, I do have to go. I do have another double extra large burrito that I need to take care of after the show. But yeah,
love it.
Next podcast tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, we are bringing in a true Xbox soldier. Special guest, the Welsh Gamer, is joining us tomorrow. And we got some nice controversial topics, and we are going to go in. So definitely check that out. Otherwise, I keep everything, really simple. It's Xbot448 across the board. You can follow me on Twitter, and I post when I go live on every single one of the live shows I'm on. So you can always keep up to date with me over there.
Awesome, buddy. Always look forward to the next podcast. You guys do a great job. Shout out to Mel as well for CCC's awesome show. And speaking of CCC, the newest member of CCC, Mr. Boomstick. What's up, buddy? Tell us a little bit about CCC and where people can find you.
Well, I'm on the newest member for Coffee, Casuals, and Consoles. Mel was nice enough to offer the spot to me today, and she made the announcement. And thank you very much out there. I appreciate it. That's Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m. It's a morning show, which is why coffee is involved. And you can find me on Twitter at Mr. Boomstick XL. I'm very vocal. I tweet about 40 times a day because I just can't stay quiet.
Nice. That's what I like about you, buddy. Welcome. I'm glad you're on the part of the show.
I just want to say he is a great addition to CCC. We had in our DM after the show this past Wednesday, it was me, Boom, and Supersonic going back and forth about a topic. I think we're going to talk about it this coming Wednesday. But, the dynamic is definitely there when it comes to Wednesday's morning show. Yeah.
And real quick, guys, I just want to give a shout out to Supersonic because he did a video on his YouTube channel about the kiosk situation and how Microsoft needs to address it. You got to take a look at it. It's really good.
I had that on our topics too, Boom. Sorry I didn't get to it, but
no, that's okay, mate.
We'll definitely hit that up. Believe me, that's an ongoing situation. And last but not least, Crap, I'm going to let you do a little plugging for us since we're doing a lot of stuff this weekend.
Yeah, we've got MNC Mornings. There's going to be some cool stuff on there. Something you guys haven't seen before. It's going to be pretty damn awesome.
Yes.
I can't really overhype it enough. You guys are going to dig it. So show up for that. Also, if you guys want to call in and leave voicemails, we're giving away a copy of Fortnite
this week. Yep.
Yes. So yeah, if you guys want to call and leave a voicemail and you want to win Fortnite, go ahead and do that. So it's going to be a fantastic show. Please show up because it is like you guys are gonna like what's going on. There's a lot of changes that happen. We've rearranged some things. We got some new skits, some new stuff to show off. So we really want a big turnout. It's gonna be on my channel this Sunday. So show up, people.
And I will take a second here to just add to that and say thanks to all of our new Patreon members. It is unbelievable the amount of support that MNC gets. It is honestly, I know me and Crap do Crossfire, we do Xbox Nation, and we do care about these shows very much. But MNC Mornings is a passion. It's a chance to actually bring out that creative gene, and shout out to J-Dubs as well for all the help and
all those J-Dubbies.
Those J-Dubbies, yes, the 15 of you out there. So
I'm one of the Dubbies, by the way.
Damn it!
Yeah, I'm gonna have to second that, brother. J-Dubs for president.
J-Dubs for president.
He's a tinkerer.
You guys just want that Canadian health care. I see what's going on. That's fine. All right, guys, we'll be here next Friday, 7 o'clock. Thank you for joining us on Crossfire. Hit that like button and subscribe to the Mooch. Come on. Where's this entertainment anywhere else?
Damn.
Come on.
Yes.
We'll see you next Friday.